Are you ready?
Clear, clear, clear.
It's time for a live stream.
You are privileged AF.
It's important to remember that.
It's okay to cry.
And it's also common to experience
deep belly laughs.
Hi, I'm Kia.
Why does this sound cold every second?
If you like jokes about scams, spirituality, and toxic positivity,
It's so quantum.
This is actually legit.
it's time to tune into.
The mango frequency.
Wait, what?
So let's dive right in.
Got my celery juice right here.
I am not emotionally stable.
Oh no, she didn't. Oh no, she didn't. Hi everyone, welcome. This is my wedding shirt. This is my wedding stream. Does anyone know if I will get demonetized if I play Here Comes the Bride? Because I feel like that's appropriate. When was it made? We have, I think after 70 years, you're allowed to play it. Copyright. Let me just double check. The classic Here Comes the Bride is Creative Commons. It's free to share, copy, and distribute. Well, there you go. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. Clean the toilets. You're so sweet. She comes twice a week to clean them. Cez has curly hair. Yes, he does. And we will see the weirdest ring there ever was for an engagement. And I love to ski and drink alcohol on TV. Thank you. Thanks. That's what Rachel Hollis will be doing, walking down the aisle as she live streams it on Instagram, telling the haters to F off, give them the big old middle finger, and saying, I met 2 men in my life, and both of them married me. And that is a big accomplishment, I must say. That is pretty rare in today's society, especially for someone of such high achieving status. Someone so exceptional as our girl Rachel Hollis. Now, I have not made a comment, not a god darn comment about the Hollises in quite a while, at least publicly. I've still been on Reddit, okay? I still frequent the Reddit page. And I also, tell people in my real life who do not care, but it's forced upon them because this is my full and only personality now, is what goes on in these people's lives. But I've been kind of away from the whole thing, just trying to, stay sane, you know what I mean?
I don't regret anything.
But it's time. I said I would come back if there was something big that happened, and I feel like this rises to the occasion of fairly big. So in case you don't know, in case you didn't click on the thumbnail, which of course you did, but in case you didn't, here's the proof in the pudding. Our girl Rachel Hollis, who's got a very weird hand in this photo, and we can examine this a little closer, but she's engaged, y'all, and Lisa Billy thinks that that's pretty dang cool.
Mic drop, homie.
Because you can see she liked it. There's no comments. Comments are still turned off, so we're still living in ignore everyone land. It says, guys, don't comment and say anything because this is a one-way relationship. But the coolest thing happened on our ski trip. This woman and this dude have taken more ski trips, and they've only known each other since, 2020 at the very least, because she was still married back then, and 2021, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They've taken like 400 ski trips, and this is coming from a woman who says that she hated skiing and never wanted to do it. So she's changed her personality to better fit her new man. And her new man, if you didn't know, is Cez Darke.
Okay, cool.
Cez Yes, Cez Darke, and he is Shawn Mendes' tour manager. Now, I don't know if Shawn Mendes ever got back on tour. He had canceled it for some reason, that he said he had mental health concerns, so he canceled it. I don't know if that ever got resolved. There was some discrepancy or some, pushback on that narrative, whether it was mental health reasons or that tickets weren't selling, so they just canceled. But I guess he's got money. They got money collectively to go on 75 ski trips a year. And again, this is all going on, and I'm saying this, these ski trips and these vacations, and he's been in Europe, and they went to Spain to do the trail and the Camino, and they've gone to Ibiza together, and they've done like all these trips. Meanwhile, all this drama has gone on. Dave passing away about a year ago. It was in February of last year. The divorce, 2 years prior to that. And the company exploding and ending their, in-person Austin Hollis company basically dissolving before their eyes. And yet, we ended up here. So, hey, you know what? I've never said that Rachel doesn't keep trying to make it work and to stay relevant and to be the boss babe that she was born to be. And here we are. She's done it. She got on Raya immediately after divorcing Dave, or at least separating from Dave, and found this dude and stuck to her guns. She changed her whole persona. She was a Christian. Now she's not. I mean, that's sort of, I think, happened around the same time. This guy seems to be very spiritual. Now she's super spiritual. She's the only hippie that exists. And for that I say, God, where is it?
Am I the only hippie?
She didn't get her nails done because she was a natural babe for a little bit, but I guess she's back to getting her nails done. And yeah, so anyways, so let me see what you guys are up to. Thank you so much to Gail. Gail says, will Heidi be invited? This makes her sad. I don't think Heidi's coming. I don't think Heidi has anything to do with the children. I don't think Heidi has anything to do with Rachel. I don't think she ever had anything to do with Rachel, except for a very short period of time when they first were dating. Oh, okay. It seemed to be a pretty okay time between all of them. They were, playing nice, and we're all just a blended family. And then that was quickly thrown on the trash. So I don't think Heidi will be attending the wedding. Now, of course, pigs fly every day. And I'm surprised we're talking about this right now, to be honest. I was convinced. I'm like, this is not going to last. This is not a guy that I see, in his 40s, never married, no kids, marrying a woman with kind of the reputation she has. And then with 4 children, one being very, very young. It just didn't seem like possible. Didn't seem relatable to me as like a path forward, but hey, once again, I was wrong, and I will eat my words.
You are privileged AF.
Because yeah, here we go. They're tying the knot, baby. And I don't know any more about this than just this post. And I did that on purpose because I want to hear the podcast and where she talks about the engagement, and I want to hear it from her perspective because she's got I'm sure it's the best engagement, the best proposal, the most amazing thing that's ever happened on the face of the earth. And I can't wait to enjoy that with all of you. So thank you to Gail. Thank you so much. And for Gail, I say this.
My guardian angels, my spirit guides.
Who else? Let's see. Rebecca Romana. Hello. Thank you. Rebecca Romana says, shout out to my Tumblr friends, Leela, in the chat. Tumblr? Is it a new app, or is that Tumblr with the different letter? Let me know.
Get your hearts ready.
And get your hearts ready for this wedding. Guys, get your hearts ready for my wedding. Ah, it's so amazing.
Boothing.
This is boothing. Did you know it? And also, I just have to say this. On the wedding night,
You have a wig in your panties. I don't shave my chochi.
are we shaving our chochi for the wedding or no? We're just going to keep it fresh? Okay, these are the things that you tell us, Rachel. So I just want answers. I need answers on this. And let's see, who else is here tonight? JN, welcome. You have parasites. Okay. Since you just joined, you now have parasites.
You probably have parasites.
And also, let me just say this to you too, JN.
Get the parasites when they're partying.
that's the best time to get the parasites. Am I right? Am I right, everybody? Okay, I think I got everybody. I need a veil, yes. I need to get like some more gear so I can dress up better. But okay, so let's just take a look-see here for 1 sec. And I'm gonna just screenshot this and open it in preview so I can investigate a little bit deeper, because this is quite the ring. This looks like a wedding band. Not typically what her style would be, I would imagine, and I want to look at her old ring. This is what I do, okay? And don't even lie. I know everyone does this when their friend gets engaged. Like the first thing you do is like zoom into the ring to see what it looks like. And if you don't do it, then you're better than me. And you know, we already knew that. Okay, first of all, you know how they say they can't do hands? At first I saw this photo, I was like, is this an AI thing? Like, is this fake? I think I've been indoctrinated by my cursed Instagram feed where like everything's a conspiracy theory. And now I'm just assuming everything is fake and, you know, not real in some way, but I need to get a grip. But yeah, her fingers, it's a weird way to display a ring. Okay, so it's this, no, I don't know, it's this hand. No, this hand. I think she's got the mirror camera on. And she's like this. Like, how far out could you stretch? And that's why I'm like, is her finger like just really flexible? I have a pretty straight finger, so maybe she's different, but her pinky's like out. Does this mean something? I don't know. But yeah, that's, I can't even tell. Is this like one of those like, I got this out of a Cracker Box things where it's like, I'll replace it with a better one later, babe. But I'm, you know, here's a ring pop. I can't tell. Like, is it actually diamonds or metal or is it a stick? Like, I don't know. It's hard to see. Anyone guess? Is it, you know, did he take, I can just picture Cez finding like a little piece of grass and then like just, you know, as he's meditating, just rolling it up into a ring. And then he puts it next to the bedstand, forgets about it. And then Rachel finds it. It goes, oh my God, puts it on. And then let's take a picture. I'm engaged. She FaceTimes every one of her friends, which are the 3 people that used to work for her. And then they're, you know, it's out there now. And how he's waking up like, huh? Oh, yeah. Let's take a picture. Let's take a picture, honey. Yes, of course. Yes, this is the engagement for sure. And then she's like, all right, I'm just gonna, am I the only person who can stretch their hands this way? And then here we are. That's what I envisioned in my head. So confirm that if you'd like. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Unless she's hiding the diamond because she doesn't want to be relatable. It's like a giant like opal on the back. She's like, I don't want people to think that, you know, that I'm better than them.
Your girl is a bougie bitch.
And as a bougie bitch, yeah, once again, I'm just going to say this ring to me is not a Rachel Hollis exclusive. Like, she would not be selling this ring on QVC. Am I right?
We hate him.
But, you know, your girl has to change with the times. Your girl's got to lock down her man. And that is what if Rachel Hollis is going to do one thing in her life, it's going to be lock down her man immediately. Okay. Now that's kind of unfair, but sort of true in this case. Anyway, so there you go. He's in the orange. He's going to go rescue some people on the slopes. And then they're going to probably get married. I don't know where. Probably in Europe, because he's from Europe, if no one's known that before. And thank you to JB. JB, you've been a member for, my goodness, how long? 18 stinking months. Oh, we've made it to the 18 stinking months time. That's crazy. That is cuckoo bananas. That is bonker pants, some may say. What are those sound bites? Oh, there it is.
Are you friggin' bonker pants?
JB says, Heidi is going to get competitive here. She'll want a ring. Yeah, she's going to be like, guys, she's going to be holding her hands up on her IG lives or stories like this now, just because Rachel's done it. So now she's going to do this for no absolute reason after she does, I'm rooting for you, and then goes like this. Just like the most obvious, weird behavior. Thank you, JB. And for that, I say,
I speak Spanish pretty well. Pinchos.
There you go. And Kelsey Dunlevy, hello, hello, hello. You're also here for 18 stinking months. Can you believe it? Kelsey says, thanks for rolling into Hollisville for this occasion. Well, we have to go by sometimes. We can't just ignore it. Ignore the elephant in the universe. Am I right? I mean, sometimes, when lovers meet, we have to celebrate true love, which we for sure know that this is what it is. So there you go. So the coolest thing happened. That's all I've seen. And then we went, and this is from 2 days ago. Again, no comments. And then we have a pre-scheduled, looks like, post about lifestyle blogger Carolyn Baudino, my favorite lifestyle blogger. I'm just kidding. I've never heard of her. But there you go. So that's that. And then before we get to the podcast, I want to just go over some updates because, like I said, I haven't caught everything because I have purposely not been following her story and the whole Hollis clan closely. But she seems to have updated her bio, and she's done this several times since the cancellation and before. Now she's producing podcasts, writing things. However, the book that was supposed to come out a year ago has yet to come out. So writing things that never see the light of day. Interesting. I'm still waiting to see what the book that she's finished, like I said, it was last December, if I'm not mistaken. The book was to the publisher or to the editor to be finalized, and then it never came out. So I don't know. She never, as far as I know, gave an update. So let me know if you've heard differently. She's raising humans as opposed to the aliens that, partake in our Lemurian world sometimes. She's not raising star seeds, so that's a plus. She's not raising people from Atlantis, but, humans are okay. She's building businesses. Which businesses are you referring to? Unknown. She's got her notebook business. Other than that, I don't know, but I guess she'll let us know ASAP. She's logging miles. Of course, she's just logging miles. 10 miles, or it's not mentioned for sure. The minimum amount she's going to post about is 10 miles, like a casual 10-mile run. And then over caffeinating. So we've ignored Dr. Amen, the brain scan guy, who said, if you care about your brain, and Rachel's like, I care so much about my brain. He's like, no more caffeine. She's like, of course I'll follow those directions. And then within a second, she was off it and also promoting it. So it's interesting, just calling out the inconsistencies when I see it. And then let's see, the link tree. We got gratitude plus goals with Start Today Journal. You can listen to the podcast. You can join 502,000 others for the weekly email, which is riveting content, always. We can watch Rach on YouTube, which we will. Rachel's back on TikTok. The place where hell opened up and she got swallowed in. But she's back. She's got a new account. I don't think she's going to be targeting children any longer. If you don't remember that period of time in Rachel Hollis's story, she at one point, before her big, toilet gate cancellation, even I think before the Maya Angelou stuff really started to piss people off, she was trying to be a big sister Rach, where she was giving advice to middle school and high school kids about acne and kissing boys. It was bizarro town, personally, I think, but she was trying to get into a new market, and that did not work. And then she got rid of her TikTok after Toiletgate happened. And then explore the website, which is pretty close to what it's been. But let's just take a look. I'm just curious. Here's the journal. It's the same journal, I think, as previously. Start Today. Grab yours here. Okay. And goes to the Start Today brand. Looks pretty, millennial. You got your candles and your gold and pink and your journal, and you're going to vision board. Sounds about right. You can get a ball cap or a journal. And then you can meditate with tie-dye with your journal. So there's some people there now. There's blogs. She used her journal to become a nurse. So she wrote down all the patient's information and credit cards. Just kidding. She used her journal to become a nurse. Amazing. This counselor used the journal to start her own podcast. And this person helped her change her perspective after a traumatic brain injury. Wow, that's an amazing journal. I wonder if the pages are special or gold or something. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. But there you go. So that's one of her building businesses. But basically, it's the same exact business as previously. It's just a little bit, I don't know, older, different, less supplies. I don't know. Well, here you go. How to. Here's a tutorial about how to write in a journal. Okay, in case you're not sure how to do it, how to put pen to paper. She's going to show you. There you go. Let's start today. All right, let's see. Let's see her TikTok. Wonder if I'm blocked on TikTok. I'm blocked on Instagram, but not on my other Instagram. So, and she has a public account, so cry me a river. Did anyone say anything while I was talking to myself? No, thank you. Thank you for keeping your comments to yourself for once. No, just kidding. Taylor. Hi, Taylor. 18 stinking months. Thank you for sticking around and being the only hippie. If you haven't noticed, I changed the emotes, so it will update to a more recognizable emote every milestone. So right now, if you're at the 18th month mark, you are the only hippie. Okay?
This beautiful Latina woman.
That we're going to pretend that hippie is a beautiful Latina woman. And also,
oh, okay, cult.
You have joined the cult. I wonder if Pam will be invited to the wedding. No, Pam will not be invited to the wedding because they will not be serving Meat Lovers Pizza at Rachel Hollis's wedding. It's going to be tofu burgers. Okay, this is just loading and loading and loading. Tofu burgers and, oh no, Rachel. Tofu burgers and hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds for the hormone cycling that we're still talking about and promoting on our platforms. It's just a bunch of seeds. That's all anyone's going to eat at the wedding. This is the RH Pod. She's following no one. Okay. She's got 264 followers, so things are going great. And she's got 822 likes. It says Rachel Hollis podcast, 500 plus episodes, 175 million downloads, lots of ideas. And it's just clips from all these different interviews. This is a guy from The Secret. So we know he's reliable. So TikTok's not looking like they're favoring our girl. Oh, it's so sad. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. I'm gonna cry. Hold on. Where's my tears? Where's my tears? I need my tears.
Oh, okay, cult.
Oh my God! Wow!
That's all I can give you. Okay. Watch Rach on YouTube. We're gonna do that. We're gonna go there. We have the email already. Nothing special. The podcast. We're gonna listen to the podcast. And here, we already did the gratitude journal. That's back to this. Okay, we've gone through it all.
Hello,
I'm not subscribed, in case you didn't know. She also updated her bio here. So she's just in an updated mood. And also first, before I move on, thank you to JLB Nerdy. JLB Nerdy, welcome for your new journal that is actually old fund. Here's my journal. I have two, but I have this one. It says notes, and it's actually the same color as Rachel Hollis's journal. So it's see-through. It's from Source Energy. Did you know that everything has a frequency, and this notebook is above your all frequency? That's why you can't see it, because it's so amazing. All these pages that I have not written in, and then I have another journal that's almost gone because I pulled out all the pages because it was like writing notes. Anyways, thank you, JLB Nerdy. And for that, I say,
I do number 2.
I love that one. And also, thank you to Asari Shepherd. Asari Shepherd says, yeah, I don't see this marriage happening. Ooh, why? You don't think the marriage is going to happen? You think the wedding's going to happen? Interesting. I think, I mean, he's been in it for quite a while now. I think it's going to go through. I think Rachel Hollis follows through. She never, ever backs away from something that she said. But if it doesn't happen, that's going to be weird.
I like winning more than I like sitting on the beach.
That is a Rachel statement if I ever heard one. So she will make this wedding happen if it's the last thing she does, I think. But we'll see. We will monitor from afar. Sorry. So I'm with you. And also,
This is gold, straight up.
that's what she said when she got her wooden ring made out of reeds. Okay, it says, hi, I'm Rach. I live in LA with my 4 kids and a mini schnauzer named Jeffrey. I've written a bunch of books and made a bunch of podcasts sharing the ideas I've learned on my journey to becoming a grown-up. Okay, at 41, I still have a lot of learning left to do. True. On this page, I share podcast episodes, vlogs, and ideas that have helped me, and I hope might help you too. There you go. So she's now on a journey to become a grown-up. But I guess she became a grown-up at 41? I don't know. Unclear.
What happened to dinosaurs?
That's what I'm still wondering. What happened to dinosaurs? What happened to dinosaurs? I don't know. I don't know what happened to the dinosaurs. Or what's the best recipe for fried chicken? How will I ever know? And she got a new picture, which is her drinking a coffee and looking out the window, and I'm assuming this is supposed to be her house, so her Beverly Hills mansion looks pretty nice. I don't know where her Ronald McDonald with a revolver photo is, but I'm sure it's there somewhere. And then we also have a day in the life video, which I was interested to see. It's a day in the life of a podcast tour. And also just, I'm not trying to hate on her too hard. Obviously I'm doing a whole thing about hating on her, but her views are pretty low still. Like, she has not made the comeback that I feel like she needs to make to be actually relevant again. Because, okay, this is 8.9, all right, but she's got 184,000 subs. So engagement-wise, it's pretty low. 8.9, 1.9, 3.3, 14,000, that was a good one. 12, 6, 9, 17, 12. Now this one was a big one. 138,000. That's with Miranda Kerr. I don't like her, to be honest, Miranda Kerr, because she platforms the medical medium who's an idiot.
As you laugh while you're getting ready for bed, instead of praying to God, you're praying, I'm dead.
That's a medical medium poem for you to go to sleep with. Also,
Look out, medical medium's a cult.
that's all I need to know. He said it himself. Let me say thank you to Hanako. Thank you so much, Hanako. Hanako says, I wonder if Rachel bought the ring and proposed to herself. And he was like, sure, I guess. Heidi is next. Cracker Jack box rings for all. Yeah, Heidi's got a new boo thing too, but she's soft launching him softly on her in social media, according to Reddit. And, she seems like she's in the same exact place she has been the last few years, which is not a good one. So if we have time tonight, maybe we can listen to a Heidi unraveling on YouTube episode. And I will say, if we're going to compare apples and oranges, Heidi is doing worse than Rachel in views on YouTube. So Rachel's winning that game. And Rachel got a ring before Heidi did. So, I'm not trying to pin people together, but if there was a March Madness and they were the only ones on it, it looks like Rachel's ahead here. I'm just saying. Okay. And I mean that as a joke, but also, do I? Or am I being serious? Nah. Am I? No. Okay. So do you think we should listen to the engagement one first or watch her video? I think we should listen to the podcast because we're talking about the engagement, and I don't think in the vlog the engagement comes up. So let's do that. Let's do it. Rachel Hollis. I wonder if she's going to take the Darke, whatever his last name is, take his name, because that would be interesting. And also I don't know if she's going to tell what, the backstory of their life was or how they met and all that. But she first fibbed, I think, that she was just looking for friends. She was just on a dating app called Raya, which is used by celebrities, soon after her and Dave divorced. And she just was looking for friends, male friends. And she only met one, and it turned out to be Cez. And they just so happened to fall in love. And she posted a full YouTube video about it, about how they kissed for the first time and how she said, you know, he's touching me. This is crazy. And then it turns out that she actually said it out loud. And she was so embarrassed because she was wearing sweatpants. Yeah, so that's the same guy. So anyways, that's how they met. In reality, I think she was ready to go and date. She met a guy on on Raya, and you know, it worked out. That's what I think happened, but she's going to make it seem bigger than it actually is. But we'll see, because I've not listened to this, so here we go. And also let me know how the sound is. If I'm loud or too quiet or whatever. You know the drill. Wait, I can't. Oh, wait, this. Okay. And this is episode 581, life update. I'm engaged. Okay. Here we go. Oh, we're going right into it now.
Luxury is meant to be livable. Discover the new leather collection at Ashley with premium quality leathers.
Okay, we're going to skip over the leather commercial.
Shop the new leather collection at Ashley and find chairs starting at...
Not the leather collection. Okay, hurry up.
Debit card users.
No!
That's right. Herms team. And the very first product that I made was debit.
Huh? Okay, sorry. I'm just skipping past the ads.
Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Okay. Third ad? Please no.
I started Start Today in 2019, and the very first product that I made was the Start Today journal.
Oh, it's her own personal
I would
ad.
love to tell you all about the journal and why I believe in this product so much. I want to tell you why hundreds of thousands of people believe in it too. I want to tell you about the practice of the journal and that you can do it in any notebook you already have at home without buying a single thing. I want to tell you all sorts of things, but I won't. Instead, I'll let real customers tell you why they love it too.
The gratitude is incredible, life-changing.
It just makes me happier because I'm focused on the positive and not the negative. You really do seek it out, and it makes you happier, and it makes you probably better to the people around you.
Waking up and doing the Start Today journal is the first thing on my mind. And when I write things down, I feel so much more empowered to actually do them.
It's the most honest place I get to write down exactly who I want to be 10 years from now.
It's the only place I will write down my goals. Like, okay.
Begin your practice at starttoday.com.
The innovation is off the charts. Angela Arnold, thank you so much. Angela Arnold says, the mango frequency is so quantum. Well, it is. You ready for it?
The mango frequency
is so quantum.
There you go. That's the perfect soundbite. All right, now we're finally 2.5 minutes in, getting to the gosh darn news. Where's the tea? What's the ring about? Who's this dude that you're marrying? Come on, get to it.
I'm not necessarily the most naturally graceful human. So when he got down on his knee, all I could think about was the fact that I was holding a handful of my nighttime supplements. Because I had, it was like I had washed my face and brushed my teeth, and then I had like my magnesium and my fish oil or whatever. So I'm literally holding a handful of supplements. And then all of a sudden he's on his knee. And I was like, that's all I could say. I was like, I'm holding my supplements. And he was like, that's okay. So classy. Yeah, he asked if I would marry him. And I said, of course. So we're engaged, and we have no plans. There is no rush, no nothing.
There is no relationship, actually. This is all a fantasy that I've come up with and created through AI. That's why my hand looks like this. I got to bring that picture up while we're watching this, because I feel like we just need to be reminded. So, okay, wait. So I guess they took the picture the next day, I'm assuming, because if it's nighttime supplements you were taking, why is it light outside? I see the sun, babe. You ain't taking no nighttime supplements in the sunshine. And look, she looks all teary-eyed as if it just happened. I feel like I've been lied to already. I feel like these are gosh darn lies that I've been fed. We're already like 3 minutes in. Okay, sorry. Whoops.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and in this show,
That's a new
we
intro.
talk about everything. Life and work, health and healing, relationships with others and with ourselves. These are stories for the seekers. These are conversations for the curious. This is the Rachel Hollis Podcast.
So basically, anything. We'll take any guest about any topic because there's no direction at all, is what I'm hearing. But okay, sure. As long as I can dance. Work it, yeah. Oh, it's updated music too.
Hi guys, it's Rach. This is a new episode of the show and a little life update check-in. I haven't done one of these episodes in a while.
So excited.
And I just thought I'd tell you guys what's going on in my world and all that stuff. And I feel a little funny about I feel a little funny about this episode because
I'm sure.
On the one hand, I feel like it should be like this big, beautiful reveal. And on the other hand, y'all are my friends. You're my community. And I wanted you to know. So,
Okay. I'm just going to point, anytime this comes up, you are not friends with any of these people, Rachel, and she knows that. It's a manipulative tactic to get you to feel like you know this person, which we all don't. And as soon as then you ask questions and say, why are you saying this? Why aren't you saying this? Why did you do this? She goes, you don't know me. You don't get to deserve anything. I don't need to tell you anything, which is true. But then this is the manipulation part where she's like, you guys are my friends. I'm going to tell you everything about my engagement. It's like, I hate that. Just if you want to run a freaking, journal company, do it. But why do we have to lie to people and say, you guys are my besties? You've never met any of these people. I don't know. I hate it. It's weird. It appeals to somebody who's very, very lonely. And I've been in those places before. I tend to go back into that often where I'm like kind of lonely or whatever. And this is the type of stuff that will get you sucked in and more depressed than just going out in the world and actually meeting real people. Okay, sorry, that's my little rant. Because she doesn't have to share this information at all. She's choosing to and monetizing it by Ashley the Leather Collection. Okay, so let's just all be honest about this. This is a money-seeking opportunity to share her life. And also she's like, oh, I'm just so weird. It's so weird to share this. It's like you had your entire marriage with Dave Hollis on display in hours and hours and hours of videos and podcasts. So I think you're very comfortable sharing your life events with the besties of the world. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
engaged. That happens. Yeah, I've been like trying to figure out how to tell you guys that. And I thought, should I put a post up on, social media, like that classic, like hold your ring up photo or whatever. And honestly, I realized that probably the most me way to do this is inside of a conversation to talk to you about it. So it's not like a single photo kind of explaining the things. But I wanted to tell you guys, 'cause I feel like you would be, I hope, excited or just it's fun to hear about. Yeah, that happened. It happened a couple weeks.
I'll just say also, just, I know she's going to talk about it, but like this all happened very quickly. Now, she was full on married to a person who she was quarantining with. I mean, yes, this was 4 years ago, but in my world, like that's freshman to senior year. That's not a huge amount of time, especially the whirlwind that they've all gone through, the world went through. She was married to Dave, making content about, smooching your husband and making out during quarantine, and then a divorce. And then Dave's with Heidi and she gets with him and they're traveling. He dies in this tragic way. Dave Hollis, obviously I'm talking about. And then she moves to LA from Texas again. And I just feel like, wow, what a whirlwind of events to now be here and acting kind of like it's no big deal. Like, oh, it's engaged. Of course, it makes sense. I'm like, Hollisville timeline is like, like they say, like on Mars, time moves faster. It's like Hollisville planet, you're moving like warp speed, so fast. Okay, back to it.
Weeks ago, my boyfriend and I went, oh my God, my fiance and I went on a ski trip for our anniversary. It was 3 years since our first kiss.
3
That's
years.
like how we celebrate. That's the day that we commemorate our anniversary. And my niece, thank you, Caitlin, came and stayed with the kids so that we could get a weekend away. And we were so excited because a weekend away is not.
She's had quite a lot of weekends away. She went to the El Camino for like, it was supposed to be 2 weeks. And I think she ended up staying for like a while because they ended up going to Greece for a while. So it's like, oh, we only got 17 times to sneak away. And she was on tour all summer without the kids, or at least without some of them. Anyways, JB says, gut feeling. I think the proposal underwhelmed her. Yeah, I think she would want a, what do you call it? Flash mob so she could record it.
You're not freaking fine.
But yeah, the supplements in the ski lodge that she loves so much definitely makes sense too.
It's hot as balls.
Okay, back to it. I agree, JB.
Something that happens a lot in my life. So it was really fun to get to do that. And we knew we wanted to ski because we just love doing that together. We hadn't gotten to go on a ski trip, just the two of us this year. So we went to Park City, which is in Utah, for those of you who are not familiar. And we always stay at the same place. And I will shout it out because it is probably one of my favorite places to stay in the world, for sure, top 5. And I travel a lot. So I feel like that's something. It's called the Lodge at Blue Sky. And it's actually like 30 minutes outside of Park City. But we stayed there years ago. And then I've gone back again and again. I just really, really love it. So yeah.
I went with my first husband. Now I'm with my fiance. Okay, sorry. I'm not trying to be so mean. Part-time jujitsu. Thank you so much. And you are in the pyramid scheme of time. You have been here for 10 months. Thank you so much for your support. Part-time jujitsu. One day I'll be able to pronounce that fully without garbling it. But for now, her podcast niche is general interest. Yeah. Any topic under the sun that I feel like is relevant and mostly about me and my life. That is what the Rachel Hollis podcast is all about. Thank you, Part-time jujitsu. And for that I say,
am I the only one?
yes.
Went to our favorite place. We usually are there with like the whole family and the kids and whatever. And everyone who works there knows us really well. So it was cool that it was just the two of us. I sort of thought that maybe this was coming. Like, I don't know if you've ever sort of been in a situation, you can kind of like feel the energy of your person. I don't know. I just sort of sensed that it was coming. And yeah, I could sense that it was coming, and I sort of thought that it was going to come at Christmas time when we went to Switzerland, and then I thought it was going to come, when we went to Hawaii. Like every time you take a trip, you sort of think, oh, maybe this is it. And then when nothing would happen, I was like, oh gosh, maybe I'm totally wrong about this. And the interesting thing about us is I think my fiance's name. This is funny. My fiance's name is Cez. I often call him Boo or boyfriend or love or whatever on the show, but his actual name is Cez.
We know.
And everybody follows that up and asks, like, is that the whole name? His actual name is Carith, which is Welsh. But growing up, he went by Cez. Anyway, so both of us, like both Cez and I think we would be super happy and fine to be like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell and just like be together forever, not necessarily get married. But it's something that...
But I was anxiously awaiting a proposal in Switzerland and Hawaii where we never get away together. That to me, I don't know, just seems like a little bit like you're being disappointed at every turn. Like a vacation becomes an expectation if you're waiting for, a ring. Kind of seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a little, I don't know, modern feminist or something. But it's like, why is it? I don't know what to say. It feels like you're waiting around for this dude and you're being disappointed all the time because you're like waiting for it. It's like, just ask him, I guess, or like have a conversation about it. Why is it such a mystery? But I don't know. I know it's a tradition, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, back to it.
Feels really important for the kids. They've talked about it a lot. He is such an important part of our life. He's such an important part of our family. He is such an incredible parent to the kids and has been for a really long time, for the last couple of years, for sure.
A really long time.
Especially the teenagers feel weird because they're like, oh, my mom's boyfriend. It just doesn't feel, it feels funny. And I get that. I totally get that. And I think it makes them feel really good when things feel more certain in a way that kids would like it to feel more certain. I agree with that. Which makes sense given all that they've been through. So
agreed.
They had let us know that that was something that was important to them. We took that really seriously. Yeah, so I kind of sensed it was coming, but like I said, when we would go on trips and nothing would happen, I was like, oh, maybe I'm reading this wrong and it's not a thing. And he told me later he had been carrying the ring around for 3 months and was so stressed, like trying to find the perfect moment, trying to find the right time. And what ended up being the most beautiful, like perfect us moment was we were in our pajamas. It was like the end of a beautiful day. We had so much fun, had a great dinner. We were back in our room and we were both in our pajamas and we were kissing. Then all of a sudden we were like just standing there kissing and then he got down on his knee. And I was so overwhelmed because like as much as you can sense that might be coming.
I thought I was going to get oral for the first time. Okay, sorry. That was the first thing that came to my mind. We were just standing there kissing and then he got down on his knee and I was like, well, here it comes. My first orgasm. Okay, sorry, inappropriate. I take it back. Okay, sorry.
Also, it was like, so I was like, oh my God. And very me, like if y'all know me, you know, I'm not necessarily the most naturally graceful human. So when he got down on his knee, all I could think about was the fact that I was holding a handful of my nighttime supplements. Because I had, it was like I had washed my face and brushed my teeth. And then I had like.
Yeah. How are you holding supplements and kissing? That's weird. It's another, this story doesn't quite add up, but okay. Whatever you say, girlfriend.
Magnesium and my fish oil or whatever. So I'm literally holding a handful of supplements. And then all of a sudden he's on his knee. And I was like, that's all I could say. I was like, I'm holding my supplements. And he was like, that's okay. So classy.
Such a nerd.
Yes, if I would marry him. And I
said,
a nerd. Of course. So we're engaged and we have no plans. There is no rush, no nothing. And I can't imagine that we would get married anytime soon because both of us have pretty crazy schedules and lives and whatever. And we wanted to make it really special and want it to be something really cool. So it'll be a while. But yeah, I wanted to tell you guys that because that's pretty bananas that happened.
Is it?
This is my ring, which you probably can't really see if you're, why would you see this? I'm such a nerd. So it's a really pretty, like, is this called an infinity band? Like where it's just diamonds like all around. It's like this beautiful petite, like so perfect, so me.
Of course.
I was pretty nervous because when I knew that I had the sense that he was going to ask me, but we had never talked about rings or what. I was like, oh gosh, like this could go any way. He's never been married before and bless him, he has such fantastic style, but I was just like, oh my God, what if he gets something that's crazy? And no, it's so perfect. So I love that. And I figured I haven't taken it off. So if people see me in photos or whatever, that you guys would be like, why all of a sudden is she wearing a ring on that finger? That is why. So that's cool. That's the big thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like we never talked about this is all not, again, as it never does, actually conclude in a realistic story. Okay, let's rewind just for a quick sec. And also thank you to Gabrielle. Thank you so much, Gabrielle, for that super chat. I say this to this.
I was thinking about what I was thinking about.
Thinking about this story being fake. Okay, so it's nighttime. and she's holding her supplements, but they're also kissing. And then all of a sudden he gets on his knee and then says, "Will you marry me?" And she says, "Of course." Then the children, the teenagers, think it's very, very important. And it wasn't their decision. They were going to just like be like Goldie Hawn and whatever and not get married. But the kids specifically wanted them to get married. But then he waited with the ring in his pocket for 3 months because the Switzerland and the Hawaii trip weren't romantic enough. He had to wait for them to be alone, even though it was the kids who wanted them to get married. Seems like a little weird. Like, why wouldn't he ask in front of the kids if it was the kids' idea and they all discussed this in some like, you know, super important way? It just seems a little odd. Then they never talked about rings, but then she expected him to propose. And of course she wants the ring that he got. It's perfect. She's over the moon. It's so her, even though I've never known her to be a minimalist type of person. Personally, I don't know if this is the ring itself, but this is what an infinity band looks like. This one's 1900. I'm assuming if it's real diamonds. I mean, this guy apparently has some money, but you know, it's a little bit, it's more like a wedding band than an engagement ring personally, but okay, that's kind of like the idea of it. And now I want to find her old ring because I'm sure that one was perfect too. The one that Dave got her when she was like 19 years old. I guess your style can change over time, technically, but you know. Your engagement ring style. Okay, wait. Oh, hot piping tea. Okay, here we go. This is from Rachel Hollis's blog. It says, your engagement ring style, March 8th, 2017. So before Girl Wash Your Face came out. And I'm assuming that's her. I don't know if that's her ring from before. What does your engagement ring say about you? Oh boy. Okay. I don't know if it's her talking or someone else. Let's see. Hey girl, hey, we're introducing a new weekly post here at Chic HQ for wedding season that we're dubbing Wedding Wednesdays. We're doing this because the always smiling and bubbly Rosie, you know her from the Facebook live streams, and our super stylish Sammy, Chic HQ's photographer and resident cool girl are both getting married in less than a minute. So in honor of these ladies and all of the other soon-to-be brides out there, we're going to celebrate you each week. If you aren't getting married, then pretend like you are, or just because you are part of the Chic tribe, party and plan along with us and pass along the info to learn to your friend's niece or neighbor who may be getting married. As the great Beyonce once proclaimed, if you like it, then you should put a ring on it. Turns out a lot of peeps did. Here at the Chic headquarters, we've got a lot of married and engaged ladies and single gals that also love to drool over jewelry. We started chatting about this fact and noticed that all of our rings also matched our personalities. Kudos to the loves who picked these bad boys out. We're illustrating what your engagement ring style says about you using all of the bling from the Chic team Get Ready to Pin. Okay, this is the artsy bride. Okay. That's Sammy's. So she's the artsy one. So it's unique, artistic, trend-setting. Okay. This is the bold bride. This is what I would think Rachel would want. A bold choice, personally, because she's a mogul and she's bold. That's Rosie's. Okay. This is the sweet bride. That's nice. That's pretty. That's Allison's. Okay. This is classic. This is Michelle's ring. That's kind of unique. I don't think that's classic. I think that's very old school. Oh, where's Rachel's? We're not going to see Rachel's? What the heck? Let's see if there's more. Rachel, I want to see yours. Your ring. Not your hormones. I want to see your horrible ring. No, I'm just kidding. Let me keep looking. Hold on. Okay, here's Rachel's ring stack this is from 2018. So this is when Girl Wash Your Face came out. So, doesn't that look exactly like the one that she's now wearing? Is this fake? Did she already own this ring? Wait, hold on, everybody. Is that not the same ring? Okay. This says, someone asked me if I would share the story of my antique wedding rings. They are, after all, the ultimate #Rach stack. I'm so glad we're like moving forward from hashtags. The first ring I ever got from Dave was my engagement ring. We actually found it in an antique ring store when we were dating, and then when I put it on, it took my breath away. Unbeknownst to me, after he dropped me off at home that day, Dave drove right back and bought it, then apparently obsessed about losing it in the month before he finally proposed. It's a 1920s cushion cut. Can I read? Cushion cut in platinum. The second ring, so I guess that's the first one. The second ring I ever got from my husband was my wedding band. It's the tiny baby dainty thing on the other end. When I say that I got it from him, that's only in relation to the fact that he slid it on my finger on our wedding day. The ring itself actually came from my great-grandma. My great-grandparents on both sides came from incredibly humbling beginnings and endings for that matter. Okay. Let your grandparents rest in peace. How about? Oh my gosh. But I adore that her ring is so loved and well worn. Jeez. You gotta dunk on your grandparents? Give them a break. They were doing potato farming or something. Give them a break. Okay. Even though it has no monetary value. Okay, Rachel. We get it. Your grandparents were poor. We understand. You don't have to wear the ring if you don't want to. Okay. Even though it has no monetary value, it's worth everything to me. It doesn't sound like it. The next ring in the stack was the gift for my 5th wedding anniversary. I really wanted to add to my stack, and Dave and I talked about getting another band from the same antique ring store where we got my engagement ring. Okay. I stopped by one day just to look, and I saw this cool deco ring from the 1940s and loved it. When I came home that night, I told Dave, honey, look what you bought me for our anniversary. He laughed and agreed it was beautiful.
This situation is a red flag.
The last ring is an infinity band. She's like, oh, I don't even know what to call it. Like an infinity band or something? Okay. The last ring is an infinity band in rose gold from Tiffany & Company. It was my 28th birthday and we were out to dinner. Afterwards, Dave asked if I wanted to go look around Tiffany's and see if I liked anything. When we got there, Dave wandered over to the wedding bands. Why don't we get you one of these? He asked. All your other rings are beautiful, but they all belong to someone else first. This one will this one will be only ever yours. I still swoon a little just thinking about it. Do any of you have a stack of rings? How about antiques or heirlooms? She's not swooning anymore. I guess that was fake news too. So she's got rid of her stack and now she's got just one of the bands that she's already had. Do we believe this is real or do we feel like this is an elaborate PR stunt at this point? Let me know.
I don't know if anybody has worked as hard on this topic as I have.
I agree. Okay, so that's the backstory of Rachel Hollis's engagement wedding ring stack. Now we can go back to the podcast.
That's happened in our life. And I thought when it happened, I wanted to tell the kids in person, but the teenagers especially, like, we are so close, and not just me and the teenagers, but me and Cez and the teenagers. Like, we're in a group text where we're very close, the 4 of us. So it felt, I don't know, like it was missing something if they didn't know too. So we FaceTime both Jackson and Sawyer individually and told them, which was really sweet. And they like knew it was coming too, but also didn't know it was coming that weekend. So they were super.
I'm sure she recorded it to use in a vlog for further use and exploitation. I mean, promotion.
Surprised. And both said the sweetest things and sent like notes later. It was awesome. And then we waited to tell the little kids until we got back, just because that's like, you know, it's a bigger deal and they're little, and wanted to explain it. And it was pretty hilarious because they both just took it in stride. I really thought Noah was going to be so freaking pumped. But then in retrospect, I'm like, why would she even know what a wedding is? I was like, you know, like in The Little Mermaid. But then I realized in The Little Mermaid, it's like Ursula, the sea witch, that's her wedding. It's not actually it. So, you know, I think when we get closer and we get to like plan things together, that'll be more fun. But the first day we told Noah, she was just like, yay, cool. But like kind of went back to coloring. She didn't really take it in.
What do you want her to do? Oh my God, Mommy. Is that an infinity ring? I love it. Let's go outside and plan the wedding. I want to have strawberry cake. Like, she's like 6 years old. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm sure she understands the concept basically, but what do you want her to do? She wasn't that excited for me. I guess like she could be a little happier for me. Jealous much? Like, ma'am, she's 6 years old. Okay. Relax.
Stay. When she saw Cez, who she calls Kezzy, she was like, Kezzy, will you show me how you asked mommy? And we were so confused, like, what do you want? And then we realized she like literally wanted him to reenact the moment. So he's like, sure. I'm like, oh, no. You have to wait till the entire family is here. You got to do this in front of, I mean, if you're going to do this, you got to do it in front of the teenagers too. It was really sweet. So when the teenagers came home, it's like, oh, hey guys, Cez is reenacting this moment for Noah. And he got down on one knee and they're just like, no, with the ring. Like, I don't even know how she knew what that would look like or whatever, but he redid the entire thing for her so she could see, which was really sweet. And that is a big thing. That's a big thing. I really love telling this story, especially for those of you who, just like you feel really uncertain in love or you feel really uncertain with.
Here, okay, 14 minutes in. Here comes how Rachel's engagement story relates to your life. I love telling this story to people who might just be starting a new venture and might be putting a ring on starting that MLM business. Like, oh my God. It's not relatable. This is like your story and great. I think it's, fake probably in some capacity, or maybe it's not. I don't know. My brain is mush from being on social media too much, but whatever I believe about it, like, this is not helping anybody. I'm sorry. You cannot like squeeze this lemon into making it a lemonade of life advice. It's not, girl.
Your relationship or just what the future holds. And in my wildest dreams, I could not have foreseen the life that I live today or the partner that I have today or this incredible human that I get to do life with and has become such an integral part of our family and really like the heart of our family in a lot of ways. I was actually thinking about this week that I would have never imagined like that I could find someone that would complement me in so many ways, like that we would really balance each other in so many ways, but also he makes me a better parent. He is such a calm, grounded.
I feel like a little defensive of Dave. Obviously he's passed, so he can't, again, defend himself here, but like he was part of their lives, the kids' lives and her life for a long, long time. And now she's going to make it seem like this is the first person who's ever respected me, who's ever liked me, who's ever been good to the kids. It's like, I don't think that's true. I think she got over the relationship. She was very young when she got married to Dave. He had problems and addictions and things that he was, lying about. And I'm sure their relationship was not good. But just to erase him completely and act like he's not even a part of this. She's like, I talk to you friends about everything. You guys are so close to me. I don't keep anything off limits. Okay, well, how about you talk about how this affects the whole situation? Like the kids, just lost their father. Now you're not co-parenting. Now you got this new boyfriend, husband, fiance coming into the picture. How are your kids reacting? That would be an actually helpful, probably to somebody out there that's experiencing something like this, like anecdote, something actually relatable and unique to a smaller number of people, but harder to find advice about. Instead, we're going to get this bullshit fairy tale of Rachel has always been perfect. Everything that ever went wrong in her life was Dave's fault and now he's dead. So now everything's going to be extra perfect until something happens with Cez. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, oh no, he was also like a gaslighting manipulator. It's like, okay, just we'll wait and see. But I feel like Dave is being left out of this completely. Like, I know it's, not his part of the story, but if we're talking real talk here, this is kind of, again, the elephant in the room. Like, oh, this is happening very fast and your kids are overcoming like grief about their dad dying, tragically and unexpectedly. Anyways, we'll hear.
Incredible person to raise children with. And I never would have imagined that would come inside of a package of someone who didn't have kids. And I think it's probably because he didn't have kids. He didn't have any preconceived notions about how you were supposed to go about things or certain ways of doing things. So he really just organically like loved us all and took care of us. And
Yeah.
I just want to say that for anybody who you can't see a future right now where it gets better. You can't see a future right now where you find love again, where you trust someone again. Like you can't see that. I couldn't see that at all. And it was not something I was interested in at all.
She started dating him within like 6 months or 9 months or something of her getting divorced. I was not looking for love. It's like, you didn't wait very long. But okay, sure, we'll believe you. Here comes an ad.
I am taking my 4 children away this weekend to go skiing. And I think if you're a parent like me, you understand how important it is to have a kitchen available to you when you have 4 kids, which is why Airbnb is always the place that I head as.
Oh yeah, she always heads to Airbnb, except when she's at the Big Sky Ranch for her other skiing trips. Okay,
home
skipping ahead.
might be worth more than you
At hot over ice and enjoy flavor that's crafted to serve.
Here's when I could drop it in my
A lot of ads on this one, just so happens.
products as directed.
For this.
Okay, wait. We're back.
Yeah. The universe has a plan. God has a plan. Like it all just
For you.
goes as it's meant to. So for what that's worth for anyone who needs to hear it today. I wasn't looking for this. It really found me. And
It found me on my dating app. It just, I'm such a nerd. I tripped and fell. I was holding supplements. And then I dropped my hand and it downloaded Raya, swiped on a bunch of people, and then landed on Cez, said, hey, cutie, and then want to get coffee. And then, it found me. Okay.
it's better than I could have hoped for. So that's my cheesy, like, little romantic announcement for you guys. Other things that are happening,
What else?
not quite as exciting, but sort of exciting, is
Tell me.
we are going next week to take my oldest son to look at colleges, which is the first time I have done this as a parent and kind of freaks me out. Like any of you who your oldest is like going to start looking at schools or maybe is in the midst of that, or maybe they're a senior and they already know where they're going. Just the prospect of Jackson not living at home, it really blows my mind. I desperately would love for him to go to a West Coast school. I keep trying to convince him to like UCLA, USC, like that way you could come home on weekends and like do laundry and we can make you dinner and all of those things. But he really is interested in the East Coast. And don't ask me why. Like he is obsessed with this idea of like New York or Boston or Rhode Island or whatever. And this is his life. And I feel like if I'm doing a good job as a mama, that I'm doing a good job to get him to a place where like I'm launching him into the world, not trying to force him to live the life that I want him to live. So we're going to go look at East Coast schools. And I'm excited for the trip with him. I think it's going to be so much fun because it's not often that we get to go somewhere with just one kid. So that's going to feel really fun. Yeah, it's bittersweet. I remember when Jackson was like 4 days old, I remember rocking with him and crying. And his dad walked in and was like, what is wrong? Why are you crying? And I was like, he's going to leave me someday. Someday he's going to go to college.
She said his dad walked in. Okay. All right.
And he's going to leave me. I was so emotional and hormonal. But it's crazy that I find myself there now. Like,
is it crazy?
It's here. It's coming. It's, you know, he's growing up. It's wild and good and hard. And I honestly can't imagine what it's going to feel like the first time that he leaves home and then like doesn't come back later that night. Or doesn't, you know what I mean? Oh, I know some of you have lived through this or are living through it, and makes my heart do all sorts of things. So that's a big thing. We're taking him to go look at colleges, and then it's spring break. So I'm super pumped about spring break because we're going to Hawaii, my favorite place in the entire world. It's where I always take the kids for holidays, spring break, like anything I can take them away for. That's what we end up doing. So excited and looking forward to that. And I feel like it's pretty insane that we're already in spring and it's about to be like it's going to be summer in 2 seconds. And that
sounds like I'm talking to a coworker who I don't know that well, and we're just like sitting in the elevator or standing in the elevator, like waiting for time and talking. It's like, okay, great. Oh, you're going to Hawaii with your kids? Oh, great, awesome. Okay, see you later. Like, what is the point of this content? To get to the point. We got half left. Ugh, I might like end it if she doesn't talk more about anything juicy.
This year has just absolutely flown by, which is like awesome because I like when things have energy and they're like flowing and it feels like it's all working really well. And then on the other hand, I don't know, it's just time's doing funny things right now. So it feels like we're going to be in summer in just a minute.
Totally
I am
agree. Yes, I know.
Work-wise, honestly, in some areas overwhelmed by goodness, overwhelmed by opportunity. I have 2 really big projects right now that I'm editing, and editing both of those projects while having the podcast, while trying to be present on social media, while writing the Sunday email. That is...
Come on. You have an hour podcast per day or per week one comes out. So you're recording an hour a week and you post a email about your own life once a week, which I'm sure someone else writes it at this point, and someone else posts on social media once in a blue moon. Oh, if only I could go to Hawaii 10 more times and skiing 4 more times, then I would be less overwhelmed. Okay.
Proving a bit challenging. And I'm trying right now to figure out a happy medium to sort of let some pieces not be as time consuming so that I can really focus in on editing, because editing is an interesting space to exist in as a writer. It's absolutely essential. Nothing can happen with the project until you do that piece of it, but it is time consuming. It's something that if you want to do it well, you really have to pull time away from other things. And when you have so many pieces moving at once, it just feels like a lot. So I'm trying to figure out right now how to like let go of some things and trust that I can let go of those things and then come back and pick them up again later so that I can.
She hasn't published a book since 2020 also. She 2020, because she released Didn't See That Coming during the pandemic. And she wrote it in 10 weeks and got it edited and published in that short period of time. And she said that she's always wanted to do a book that fast. And since then, she has not published a gosh darn thing. So it's been 4 years. She got a new man and a new ring, but no book. I think you have time now.
Take the time to do what really matters most, which for me is always going to be writing. That is the foundation of what I do. And it's very easy for me to forget that. I know that might sound funny, but this podcast is such an incredible gift in my life. Like at least 3 times a week, I think I cannot believe that someone pays me money to talk to people for a living.
Me too. It really is shocking. Asari Shepherd, thank you so much. Asari Shepherd says, if I were Dave, I'd haunt Rachel. How rude. Same.
Are you Rachel?
I am your ghost, and I will be haunting you for the rest of your life.
Boo thing.
Unfollow me. Peed my pants.
My guardian angels, my spirit guides.
She believes in guardian angels and spirit guides, but doesn't seem to believe in ghosts of her ex-husband. that she can just say whatever she wants about the relationship now. There's no consequences. Chez Marie, are you the only hippie, Chez Marie?
Am I the only hippie?
18 stinking months. Thank you. Welcome. I'm one of the only hippies. We're the best. So true.
I am dating the most evolved human being.
Now she's engaged to the most involved human being. Rachel, we love you. Okay, back to it.
I got to go last night to a screening of an incredible documentary. Will Ferrell had this documentary come out at Sundance. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but one of his really good friends at 60 or 61 years old transitioned to be a woman, and Will and Harper is her name. They traveled cross country in a road trip. Talking about that, learning about that. Like, it is so freaking well done. It's hilarious because they're both comedians. You laugh the whole time. It is so heartwarming. It's sad at times. It's eye-opening at times. It's gut-wrenching at times. The awareness of that community, the trans community, LGBTQ+, like anyone who's walking down that road and doesn't feel like they can be themselves safely or that they can be themselves without losing love. Like, this movie is such a beautiful inside look at things that me as a straight woman, like, I have never experienced that. There's a privilege that I have because I don't know what that feels like. And getting to watch the movie was such a gift. Like, it was so rad to be able to do that. I think it's coming out on Netflix maybe in the fall. So you guys, please watch it. It's so good. But before the screening, there was drinks beforehand and like meeting people, whatever. And I was in a circle of people that I don't know super well. One of them I had met before, but I didn't know she was an artist. And I was like, oh, remind me, what is it that you do? And she told me, and she's a textile artist, specifically works with tapestries. And I was like, what? I'm now want to know everything. How fascinating. So for like 30 minutes, I am asking her, how do you do that? What's the size of the loom? Where did you get into that? I'm like, do you have photos? What's the material that you use? Are you using computer-aided design? Are you doing that?
Sure.
Like, I had so many questions. And at the end of answering all these questions for me, she was like, what is it that you do? And I said, oh, I'm an author and I have a podcast. She was like, oh, yeah, I can tell that you interview people. Nobody's ever asked me questions like that. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know those little details.
Shut up. This is reminiscent of the story of like she had the personal trainer and she online and she said, the personal trainer said, and he's a celebrity personal trainer, just don't forget, said, what are your goals? She's like, I just want to feel strong. He's like, what? Never in my 30 years of being a personal trainer has any woman ever said they just want to be strong, that they don't want to be skinny. You are amazing and unique. I've never met anyone like you. So this is that, but, with the tapestry artist.
And I was like, oh my gosh, my curiosity is one of the best things about, like, that I love about myself. I love that I'm curious. And I love that I don't care what you do for a living. Like, what? Tell me more. I was like, if you told me that you like build trucks for a living, I would have asked you the same kind of questions. I just find it fascinating.
Why don't you have truck makers and tapestry artists on your podcast? Why do you constantly have self-help and pseudo celebrities on constantly? If you really care, there are podcasts where you can interview regular uggos like us who are just living in the world, but you choose not to. So it's kind of weird that you feel this way, but then don't act on it at all in any capacity. Okay.
Hey, Keurig coffee drinkers. Did you know brew over...
Because why would I put that on? With Clorox.
It's a full-time job to do this.
Okay.
Use Clorox products as directed.
So the fact that I get to do this for a job feels unbelievable. But it's also a very time-consuming job, right? It's like, this is a full-time job to do this work. And when I have these really cool opportunities as a writer, which is the calling of my heart, I really have to like work hard at kind of unwinding a bit, not pushing so hard, not hustling so much, so that I can take a step back, so that I can organize my thoughts. To me, writing a book is really...
She's gone on 17 vacations, went to Sundance. Yeah, you're really pushing the hard work. Oof, you are burning the midnight oil there.
Organizing my thoughts so that I can then come back here and speak to you in this way. So all of that to say, work-wise for me, the next 6 months are a lot of getting those projects put to bed, getting them to a place where I feel really proud and like good. I have my pub date for my next book, but I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you that yet. So I will wait on that one, but just know a new book is coming. And
what's it about?
I'm really excited about.
I have one guess. Your life and what you think everyone else should glean from it. I'm going to just take a wild guess.
This book, it feels very much where I am now, not where I was, not any of those things. It's still my voice. I like to think it's still very funny. It's still, I hope, filled with ideas, but it's very much like I don't have the answers. I don't know. The older I get, the more I understand
that's good.
How little I actually understand. And
yeah,
I think there's, I hope, like an earnestness in this next book of just like, maybe this will help. I don't know. So I'm really excited for you guys to check it out. And I promise I will report new details as soon as I have that for you. But that'll be the first new big project that you see coming from me. And it just requires like a little extra intention in that area right now. Oh, okay. Not like super essential for life, but sort of. I know that I am really behind in just discovering this show, but have you guys seen Call the Midwife?
No.
I am on season 3. I am feverishly working my way through Call the Midwife. So many people told me about how great that TV show was, and I just never watched it. And Netflix kept saying like, you'll like this, you'll like this, you'll like this. I was like, I'll get to it. I started it. I love it. Highly recommend. Like if you have been considering it like I was, highly recommend. Some episodes are pretty stressful, but for the most part, it is so heartwarming. And side note, have you ever seen the movie Spy with Melissa McCarthy?
No.
I feel like 4 people saw Spy. I was one of them. I have watched Spy over and over and over. I think it is the funniest. I laugh till I cry. I love that movie. In Spy, there is a character named Nancy who is also chummy in Call the Midwife. Now, I don't know that.
Can we end this? Can we go to her vlog? This is like becoming so boring. I'm so sorry. Is there anything juicy? Let me know. I can't take it. I don't want to hear her yap on about. Did you guys hear this show? Yeah, it's really good. I really like it. What else? How talk more about the engagement, because that's what this podcast is called.
Hello.
Anyways, I'm over it. Okay, let's watch A Day in Her Life, because at least I get to see the princess, the angel, the perfect one that never has been more perfect. Comments are turned off. She's your best friend that you cannot communicate with. Gotta love her. Also, yeah, her Facebook. Just a quick note about her Facebook. She still posts fairly often there, it seems. Quirky coffee. This coffee. It just makes me go, This coffee is giving me lice. She's got her other rings on in this picture. But now, just something interesting that I see on her Facebook. Join Rachel's email list. So it's not being posted on by Rachel herself, unless she's talking about herself in third person, which is possible. But all of it. Well, maybe this one kind of is sort of, but like watch A Day in Rachel's Life. Did you catch Rachel going live? I didn't. I'm kind of interested to see that on Loom. Loom? Oh, she's such a hippie. She's the only hippie. We can maybe take a look at that. I don't know. She's going to be talking about live in Hawaii, March 1st. She is working so hard, guys. She just cannot catch a break, even though she's been on 6 vacations. She's very Heidi-esque in that way. What we can let go of before starting a new month. No, I'm bored. She's got some more comments here. I think she's trying to warm up to come back. But people seem to be eating it up again. So there you go. Yeah. But anyway, so it seems like someone is like posting for her. So she must have a new employee or poor Jack has got new duties. A peek inside Rachel's fridge. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that's what her fridge looks like for real. Oh, you guys, this is just my beautiful fridge. Okay, here we go. Day in the life, and then we'll go to Heidi.
Hey guys, I'm Rachel Hollis. And I just realized that, that's me in the mirror behind me. Let's go like this. I have had a podcast for over 7 years. And today I thought it would be cool to show you guys what a day in the life looks like for us as a team. How do we set up podcasts? How do we welcome guests?
Yeah, who's the team? It was just Jack. So there must be a growing group. Or maybe it's just her and Jack still, and we're going to find that out. Let's see. I'm curious.
Yes, we actually have 2 guests today. We don't normally double book in the same day, but both of these were such huge, incredible guests that we had to do it. So it's going to be a little bit of a crazy day, and I wanted to show you what it's all about.
2 hours of work.
Not surprisingly, I start the day with journal work. This is my Start Today journal where I write down the things I'm grateful for and the goals that I'm working on in my life.
This is the look. This is the fit. This is the setup for the podcast fit, guys. I'm literally just wearing my pajamas.
All right, we're going to start with a very attractive ensemble. For me, I don't know what this outfit is, but real life, this is me cleaning the podcast studio before guests arrive. Our studio is in my backyard and a lot of...
Where's your sweet housekeeper? She didn't move with you guys to take on this task. She was embarrassed enough about your public proclamation that she cleans your toilets twice a week. We have to vacuum our own podcast studio now.
Leaves tend to fly in when the doors are open. So before guests come, I just take the vacuum out and make sure she's all good to go. I try and give a gift to every guest that comes on the show, and I write a handwritten note to each one, thanking them for the time. I never act.
This is Shania. Thank you so much. Something to share your light with us. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to sit with you. That's nice.
Actually know if any guest will read the note.
Why not? From the desk of Rachel Hollis. It's a little pretentious, but okay. I guess I didn't have to read it upside down.
But it's important to me that my intention is there. Plus, it's really weird to write to Shania Twain. Each guest gets a mug made by my favorite ceramicist in Hawaii. And I always tell people that it's from my favorite ceramicist in Hawaii. Her name's Lauren, and she's pretty amazing if you want to go follow her on Instagram. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times.
I want to know who your second favorite ceramicist is. Okay? Not your first.
I really care about the way things smell. I think scent sets the stage for everything else. So if you come into my home,
to smell good?
If you come over to hang out or to have dinner, or if you come to do a podcast episode, you better believe it's going to smell really, really good. I'm just adding some essential oil drops to my diffuser. This is called Retreat, not an ad, just a smell I really like. I also love having fresh greenery on the table in between the guests and I just think it's good to have it around, and I cut some from my garden. Sometimes there are flowers.
Who the fuck cares? I'm sorry. Who the F cares about any of this? Give me something to work with. Anyways. Okay, so I see a comment came up, but it hasn't loaded yet. JB says, journal entry, I get engaged in the Swiss Alps. And she races it and goes, no, holding supplements in the Utah Big Sky Resort, even though I love Airbnb. I manifested it.
I do not give a fuck.
Rock on.
I put out so much crap.
Like this. Ooh, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel here. But I'm holding on. Thank you, JP. I'm holding on that this gets, juicy.
But at the very least, there is
I always drink water, at least 8 ounces a day. Sometimes I don't hit my goals, but then tomorrow when I wake up, it's another opportunity to try again.
always a rosemary bush that I can use to, again, make things smell really good. I keep a bowl of affirmation cards on the coffee table in front of every guest, and almost every person picks a card without being prompted. I feel like the universe is always talking to us, and 100% of the time, the guest pulls a card that they tell me they really needed on that particular day.
And by the way, let me just say, I pulled this card because I love cards, and I'm going to read it.
Yes.
It says, to begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. That's how I live my life.
Yeah. These are from Gabby Bernstein, and I got them on Amazon.
Okay. If you would love to learn more about Gabby Bernstein and Gabby Bernstein's whole shtick, I did a video on my channel. Search Gabby Bernstein and you will find it if you'd like to know more about her backstory and her grift.
Okay, wait, there. I'm gonna look there. It's terrible lighting, but I love a skincare moment, so I'm just gonna take you on my morning skincare today. All right, we're first doing Wise, your favorite exfoliating pads. I got this from Molly when she came on the show, actually. Tried it out and really dug it.
Vitamin C, totally essential if you want even skin.
I want odd skin.
I love this product. That one's from Miranda Kerr when she was a guest on the show, and I have been obsessed ever since. I use like 10 of her things. This is the noni oil. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't really have anything to say about this moisturizing sunblock. An esthetician used it on me once, and I thought it was light and smooth, and I just have used it ever since. Now this is fabulous. This is May Lindstrom's The Blue Cocoon. It's what I use as the top layer on both my cheeks and my forehead, and I feel like it helps with my rosacea and the texture of my skin.
Can you take us to your Botox appointment? Because I want to know how many injections you get so I know. Because you ain't got a wrinkle, girl. You ain't got no wrinkles.
I have adopted long walks as a part of my exercise routine, and I really love it.
Oh my God. Have you ever heard of walking? You should try it sometime.
Podcast days, I don't have time to get a workout in and do morning routine with the kids, so this is my workout. I go on a little over a 2-mile walk, and it wakes my system up and makes me feel really good. I also make my walk to my favorite coffee shop, so it's about a mile there. I have an Americano and a mile back.
Right now we got the single setup.
Jack.
Let's go double.
He's a Canon man, I see.
Jack.
I'm a Sony girl myself. At least someone's doing some work around here, am I right? Okay, let me mute this because I don't know what kind of music they use. Okay, here we go.
Our 2-person setup. This is Rachel's camera. Points at Rachel. And this is our guest camera. Points at our guest. But we're not done yet.
Amazing.
There we go. Here we have Rachel's mic.
Jack has been a ride or die for Rachel. He better be making some money. He literally moved to Austin to work with her and now moved back to LA to work with her. What this guy is getting out of this relationship, I don't know. It seems a very odd match, but hey, more power to you.
Guest mic. This is my mic, if heaven forbid I have to talk. I sit here and play with these things. They do all the talking. And then I also take notes over here. Never forget the SD card. I can tell you that from experience.
True.
And we did it.
Good tip.
A lot of people say it smells real nice in here. And that's because of this guy. I made this, Frank.
What is this big oil diffuser? Like, what do we give a shit about this? We're pushing this hard on this episode. Did you know that oil diffusers make did someone accuse her of having a stinky room or something? They're really pushing it.
Curly maple. Look at that shine. Can't have noise from the fridge, so we've got to unplug.
Hey, let me see this. Where's Ronald McDonald? Okay, so there's a picture of Rachel sitting cross-legged on a couch by herself. A picture of her in a car with, I think, Noah. And there's a blurry picture of somebody. And something that says, my religion is nature and feelings of wonder, mysticism, and gratitude. And I can't see the rest clearly.
So we've got to unplug it. But so you remember to turn it back on, put your keys in the fridge. I'll be back. Here's a pro tip if you have these small SSD drives. Put some Velcro on them. In case anybody's wondering, it's just a 2-light setup. This is her backlight and their key, and then that is the same thing but that way.
Smoothie, green smoothie. I'm all about that life. I have a green smoothie almost every single day, and it's a really good recipe before a podcast because it's really light.
Because I be farting, but I have my oil diffuser, so it won't stink. Right, guys?
If you want the recipe, it's on the site.
Now
it's time for hair and makeup. I don't always have it done.
She gets her hair and makeup done for her podcast? Wow, I'm shocked, actually. That seems surprising. That's Rachel all through the podcast.
But if I'm doing an interview, I absolutely do. And this is Brittany. She has been my hair and makeup gal for years at this point. So we know exactly what we're doing, and there's no guesswork to the process.
Hey, producer Jack is here.
I brought fresh tangerines.
Shut up, from where? You grew them?
I didn't.
Oh.
It's my aunt's having trees. So
Nice.
We picked a whole bunch.
Oh, this is my actual dream. Fresh citrus. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I believe that.
Look at this transformation. She's so talented. I take zero credit for the way this looks.
I don't know about this sweater with like big pants, but I'm gonna go for it because I feel like.
Okay, I'm not trying to be mean because my hair looks like absolute horribleness all day long, but I also don't have a professional come in and do it. I don't think her makeup looks nice. Her hair don't look so good here. I'm sorry. Does that mean? I just don't think it looks like it's been blown out or professionally done. It looks like I could do that, which I know my skills are zero. To bring someone in to come and like work on your hair, I've seen better.
Like a sailor. So this is our first.
Looks like she's
our
straightened
first
it.
look, guys. It's our first
It's
look.
too flat.
I haven't actually taken this off yet. This is from Anthem.
She's not buying thrifted clothes anymore. Even though we already knew that, but she's buying clothes. She said that she was better than everyone and she was only going to buy thrift. That lasted like 2 months.
Apology. Here we are. My hair to be bigger, but this is what we're wearing today.
It's too
super
straight.
embarrassing, but this is actually what my jewelry area looks like.
So
which
embarrassing.
is so terrible. I put it all down here when I moved in, and
Okay, she's got a picture of something that says stoic. It says many are something by fear of something and many more something. I don't know, can't read it. But it's her and Kezzy. She's got Kezzy on her dresser. Interesting. What else she's got? Some jewels, some crystals. Love it.
honestly, I've just never fixed it, guys.
Who is this? Is this someone I should know? Let me know. Is it Jesus? It says stoic. I don't know. Okay.
And that's horrifying, but that is what is true. Just breaking in here real quick, because about a month ago we shot Day in the Life. I was watching edits yesterday, and I'm keeping it in what my jewelry area looked like. But every time I would watch an edit of that, I would be so embarrassed. I just wanted to show you guys, I did clean it up. I cleaned it up. I got some organization things.
Thank God.
Ordered them
I was not going to sleep tonight, but now I can rest easy. Thank you.
online. These are all my necklaces. This is vintage. I never
It's vintage. It's a snake to represent my personality.
wear it, but I really want to. I'm going to at some point, I promise. All my necklaces.
Again, we have run out of content. There is nothing left. Time to throw in the towel. you're showing us your necklaces now. No wonder these views are so low. Like, I'm sorry, there's just nothing. Tell me something offensive. Come on.
Rings. I actually think this looks really pretty. I got my hoops. Almost all of the brooches are from my grandmother's. This was my
At least Heidi is
grandma's.
like
This was
saying
my
crazy
nanny's,
stuff.
which
Interesting.
was what we call my great grandma. This is Grandma Neely. This one was, I think, Grandma Neely too. Okay, you guys don't care about the brooches, but there they are. And then I don't have a lot of earrings, but those are the earrings. The watches. Oh, look, and then I like did this moment with my sunnies. I know some of you were judging me. I was judging me, but I cleaned it up. Mom, I cleaned it.
I think it's really groovy that I have a record player, so I try and put a record on before any guests arrive. And on this particular day, I was feeling like some Marley. Most guests during the winter will ask for coffee or tea. So just in case they want tea, I pre-boil.
Oh my God. Wow. Coffee or tea? We have a burner in the house. Did you guys know? You want to look at my trash can? Oh, wow. We have 3 minutes left.
Boil the water so it's ready when they arrive. Otherwise, it takes like 10 minutes.
And this is a vintage carafe. I remember she talked about this already. Can you believe that I already know the fucking details about this specific like boiler that she's got? That's how much content she does not have anymore. It's like, oh yeah, this is her uncle's or something that gave it to her. It's like vintage.
And I feel bad that they have to wait that long. Also, absolutely my favorite brand of tea is Big Heart. They're really cool. It's a rad company, and their tea is delicious.
We're doing 2 guests today. Our first one, Michael B. Beckwith.
He's a guy who's on The Secret. He's going to tell you how to manifest everything you want in your life. He used to have a lot of dreads, and now he's bald.
I use sometimes is when you
molecules of H2Os.
pure awareness.
What are you doing over there?
I'm looking for places that we can order food from, Jack. Places we've had before. There is a new place I've had, but you haven't, I don't think. And we have a really good salmon situation that I'm gonna get. But will you look at this and see how your heart feels about it?
100%.
Jack, how's that lunch?
It's fantastic.
Okay, good.
Fantastic.
Good.
He's been through hell and back.
Mine was really good too.
We need energy for Shania.
Shania, let's go, girls!
Okay, we ate lunch and changed my outfit, and I'm caffeinating because I didn't actually finish my coffee in the last interview, and the next podcast guest, which is Shania Twain. Holy crap.
I want to know how many Botox injections Shania Twain gets as well, because she also don't have any wrinkles, girl. How many?
Is in about 30 minutes.
This is a wrinkle-free zone. If you're doing a podcast here and you're a woman, no wrinkles allowed.
Okay, true story. I look like I'm chill about this, but I was crapping my pants. Like, I was so excited that she was at my house and trying so desperately to just be calm.
She forces you to read the note on camera? Weird. Read the note that I said, thank you for coming on the show, please.
I was telling my boyfriend earlier, I'm like, she is the soundtrack of my life. I'm not gonna cry because that's weird.
I can feel you, yeah.
But, it like hurts my heart a bit that process didn't feel good to you, but also so inspiring that it does now.
Well, let me explain first that what overpowered the fear was my connection to the music.
We just had a whole recap, which we should have taped.
Let's go, girls.
There's Jack. We've just finished. Shania was here. My big fear was that she was not going to show up.
Suds in the bucket.
Was here, and she was amazing, beautiful, and the conversation was awesome.
Rolling deep, too.
Rolling deep. So
Yeah, that's the day.
Yeah?
That's the day. What are you gonna do now, Jack? Now that we've had a whole day of taping.
I'm gonna go eat something.
Great.
Okay, there's a sign in the back that says, one time, just 1% more effort every day makes you 37 times better in a year. Jack, did you know that?
Great.
And then probably go to bed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Maybe some edits,
Good
you know,
plan.
if that happens.
Good plan. High five. Good job today.
Wow, that was hard for me. I used to have fun doing this. And now I'm not having fun. But you know what? For her life, she's probably thriving much better than previously, saying crazy stuff and being ridiculous. So overall, I support her in this new way. I just can't watch it. It ain't for me no more. Okay. All right. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Rachel. I'm still not convinced that the photo of her engagement is not completely photoshopped 100%. I'm not convinced. But, you know, you never know. It could also be real. But there's just something about it, just similar to this other photo that she has of at the Great Wall of China that is like framed in her house that I swear to God is photoshopped of her face. It's like, why? So I don't put it past her. If the Princess of Wales photoshops constantly and sends it to the Associated Press, our girl Rach could very much be photoshopping engagement photos. But we'll see. I have to find out how that would be done. But you never know. Doubtful, unlikely, but you never know. Anyways, okay, let's go to Heidi. Our girl Heidi has been hiding from my coverage, from my critique, from my very soul. She has been hidden. And I don't have her on Instagram, and I don't really care. I see on Reddit that she's basically, you know, what do you say? Hawking supplements. She's showing her boyfriend once in a while. She's cold plunging with her son. She's cold plunging on her own. She's showing her children constantly in every position in every room of the house and catching them off guard probably. And her son's going on a mission trip soon. So she's, you know, squeezing every detail out about that. That's all you've missed, I think. Nothing really of note. And apparently she's working on some sort of event, apparently, that involves cold plunges. So she's in the hard. But the one thing that she admitted, apparently, and I don't know if we need to watch this one, but she admitted that because I thought she was sober. Like, I thought she never drank because it's like a Mormon thing not to drink. And she's sometimes kind of Mormon. I don't know. But I thought she never drank. But apparently she admitted that she drank quite a bit with Dave, and that also Dave pushed her, or he felt pressured during the relationship to drink more than she normally does with Dave, which I thought was kind of a revelation and interesting. But I'll show you the views. Ain't looking good, Hides. She's got 267 total. This is not 267,000, 267 views, 323 views, 338 views, 124, 514, 1.3, which is a update on my health, which is maybe the one that I want to watch the most, 445. I mean, that's pretty bad. Even the one where she exploits her children didn't even get 1,000 views. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be going well. They always say, because podcast analytics are hidden, they always make it seem like, well, the podcast is just amazing and being downloaded every second of the day and it's just blowing up and no confirmation. How am I supposed to say if that's true or not? But the YouTube tells you kind of the truth, I think, sometimes, where it's like, that's low. Okay, so do we agree that we want to listen to the messiness of life or her update on her health? I think we should listen to this one. Now, this is something that I've been kind of following a little bit, and I'm so confused by it. And like I said, have her on Instagram, so I'm like maybe losing parts of the story. But from what I understand, she had a lump in her breast and then also swelling in her lymph node, like in her armpit. And then she went to get a biopsy, but then they said, no, you don't need a biopsy. And then she went back to her doctor and they said, no, you do need a biopsy. And then she went back to the place and they said, no, you don't need a biopsy. And then she didn't get one, but then she said she did get one and lied to her followers and said she was cancer free, but then it turned out she's not, potentially. That's what I have understood from Reddit. I guess she's going to explain it here. This is from a month ago, but she's going to explain what's going on in her health journey, but I don't know if she's gonna be forthcoming. We'll see. Hey, Heidi Lane with Heidi Powell.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to...
And we're on the floor again, so nothing has changed. No chairs, just floor. Yeah. Okay, so all is right in Heidiville.
Heidi's Lane. We've been in the middle of the No Fail New Year. We had a really awesome episode last week on those the stages of emotional change. Oh my gosh, it's so good. We're going to continue with part 4 next week. I'm doing a impromptu episode this week about the health things that I've been going through. So I don't know if you've been listening religiously or following me on Instagram, but I recorded an episode right after I found out I had a lump in my breast that I kind of pushed off for a while and didn't get checked out. And when I finally got it checked out.
Why would you ever do that?
There was something, right? And I was so scared that I came home and recorded an episode and I was crying and emotional and I felt like I was going to die. You know, we're all going to die. That's real.
Thanks, Heidi.
And then my team edited the episode. We were getting ready to post it. And the day before it went live, I was like, I feel like we need to pull that because there was so much emotion inside of it. And there's a really great quote that goes something like, I'm probably combining 2 quotes, but regardless, they're really great. It's like, teach from a scar, never from a wound, to avoid bleeding on those who didn't cut you. I believe I just combined 2 quotes into one, but I love them both. And those are the parts of it that I love. And me inside of that share, as I watched it in hindsight when the emotion had worn off, had me being like, man, that was me inside of a wound, bleeding all over anyone who's listening, freaking them out. And
yeah, what would you be teaching about cancer screenings? You didn't go, and then you got emotional. Like, what would you possibly teach anyone at any time about that? But okay, here we go.
Over time, it's been about, 3 weeks or a month since, and my emotions are much more tame. I know at one point, I told you guys on Instagram, I felt like I had answers. I'm back to a point where I don't have answers again. But, the outcome could be the same thing that I thought it was prior. But the emotion is kind of in check. I'll say that. I think I cried enough for 100 people the first week, and I'm back. And I did post a box on Instagram and I asked you guys for your questions because I wanted to make sure that I answered them, because I realized just how many of you guys have been through something similar to what I'm going through. Like, so many of you guys, and many of you, if you haven't been through it, you know someone very close to you who has been through it. And I hope you know, before I get started, that your comments, your questions, your suggestions, your love and support, and I guess support. You're virtually putting an arm around me and telling me I'm going to be okay. You're reminding me that whatever the outcome is, like, I am loved, I am blessed, I am held. I want you to know how much that means to me. It truly means the world. It's so interesting with social media. It's like, it's a double-edged sword, because there are some days where I'm like, man, it's going to be the death of me, because there's pressure and comparison and sometimes not great feelings when I'm on social media, and then other days it's like, gosh, on the other side of that sword that cuts so hard is just the most beautiful embrace from...
I feel like she's talking about like human interaction. Like, you don't have to be on social media to get people to like you and to talk to you and to give you advice. You can find that in the real world. It just takes a lot of effort. And also, honestly, social media is like not even a real representation of like true love or appreciation. So I feel like I understand what she's saying, but like it's not real. Like they don't really know you. They're not really holding you in any way. They're just sending nice things, which is nice, but it's not going to replace like true, relationships, but okay.
People who I may have never met before, right? But feel like my best and closest friends. There's just a level of care and compassion that each of you guys bring to my social media. And I really want to say thank you for that. I hope that me and my social media do the same for you. Yeah. And I'm sure there have been times, if you followed me for a while, I don't even like the word follow, but if you've been here for a while or been with me for a while or been my friend for a while, you've seen me through so.
We're also not your fucking friend, okay? Both you and Rachel need to learn this. We are not your friends. Stop trying to manipulate us. Thank you.
Many phases. And I sometimes look back and I'm like, man, was that phase of Heidi Lane, which maybe was during the Powell, I don't know, was it uplifting or did that help people or did it hurt people? I don't know, and I will say life in these twists and turns, because it's been, oh my gosh, a year and a half of twists and turns for me and really humbling moments. But with these twists and these turns and these humbling moments comes so many lessons. And I think some of the most important lessons result in peeling away the layers of what we thought and who we thought we needed to be, and allowing to shine through who we really are and who we're meant to be. There's a remembrance that I'm not here for me. I'm not here for any of the things that sometimes we get caught up in thinking we're here for. I'm actually here as a part of God's plan. And God's plan. I'm here not to serve me, and I'm here to serve him. And
I'm here not to serve me. I'm here to serve him by posting pictures of myself on Instagram in a bikini. How is that helping God? Okay, but whatever.
I think part of my purpose on earth, obviously there's a purpose, but my other purpose is to figure out who I'm meant to serve and in what order / priority. And I feel like in looking back, I'm like, man, I don't think I knew that. And I think I was so scared of not being enough in the world that maybe I put serving the world before anything, before serving God, before serving me, and even sometimes before serving my kids. And I've said that before on here, and it's such a yucky recognition. And
I wish you would go into detail, like an example. Like, in what case did you not make your kids dinner for the 18 years you've had children? Did you not take them to practice? Like, what? Did you post on Instagram 400 times and never, tell your kids you love them? Like, what are we actually talking about? I hate these vague, I put, the world before my kids. What does that actually mean to you? Because I cannot relate if I don't understand the context.
Admission. And it's also true. But I also don't think I'm alone. I think I can literally see people who may be in a place that I was in, and I can be like, oh my gosh, I relate. I didn't know who I was either. And I was so busy trying to prove myself and make everyone else happy and get liked.
And you're not doing that now? Okay.
And all of the empty validation that I thought would result to enoughness for me. And it never did. It built some really cool things, and I do know that it helped a lot of people.
And also Heidi, you're doing exactly the same thing. What have you changed? What has changed? You have a podcast and you post on Instagram all day. What life-changing thing have you done? You spend more time at home with your kids? Okay, amazing. But your lifestyle is exactly the same from what I can tell. So I don't know what the big transformation has been.
And I love that. And also, I think as much as I love helping other people, if I really am truthful, in hindsight, my and most of our helping other people is to help us feel like we're enough. And
to make money.
In my work, life coaching work, I have a life coach. She's amazing. Her name is Alejandra. In a lot of her work, she's helped me recognize.
Alejandra? Alejandra. The life coach, Arizona. Heidi, you need a licensed therapist. I'm just going to say that.
That it doesn't matter if anyone else, if they saying I'm enough, doesn't matter. The only thing that, or them saying I'm not enough. So even you guys listening, whether you believe I'm enough or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you believe I'm cool or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you think I'm a good mom or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you think whatever it is, it actually doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters is if I know I'm enough and if God knows that I'm enough, and he does, and I do. And so it does make words and things that other people say, which previously would have hurt me, it does make them.
Okay, this is her life coach, allegedly. No, it is her life coach. Her name's the Baller Coach. She's a baller, and she's a coach of life. Do you live? She can coach you. Do you know how to wake up and sleep and eat? This lady does, and she will teach you how to do it. She's an award-winning life coach. She's won the Life Coach Award from the Life Coach Association, which does not exist. Okay, what award have you won? Did you get someone to stay alive longer? Like, what award are you getting? Award-winning life coach, the Baller Coach, best-selling author, of course, and master coach, coached 5,000 women to feel confident and live life on purpose with the 180 method. Okay, 5,000 women. So if this woman is 40 years old, that means you've coached, let me see. If you became a coach at 20, which I feel like is young to become a life coach and unlikely, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's do the math really quickly. So let's say she's 40. Okay, 20 years of being a life coach, 5,000 divided by 20. She coaches 250 women a year, every single year. So she's got a different person she's coaching, 250 women for 20 years. That sounds right. That sounds legit. Yeah, that makes sense. She's also a mom and a 7-figure business owner. That's shocking. What's her story?
I'm Alejandra Crisafulli. I'm an award-winning master life coach. I didn't learn to read until I was 12 years old. I had severe dyslexia, and I was deathly afraid of standing in front of people and speaking because I thought if I did, people would know how stupid I was. And then later on in life, it created other things. Like I found myself pregnant and alone. The father of my daughter left us 2 weeks after I found out I was pregnant. But I also made the decision if I was going to be a single mother, I was going to be awesome. And I wanted to instill in her those things that I didn't have. I wanted her to own herself. I wanted her to be unstoppable, right? But I knew that in order to do that, I was gonna have to fix me. And so I went to therapy, and it was great for a little bit. But then I found I was only just talking about things. I felt like there was something else out there, and that's when I was introduced to coaching, which was 20 years ago. Life coaching was not a thing, so I know that was a God moment for me. And it changed my life so much that I became a life coach and have been doing that for 20 years now.
Coaches teaching coaches to be coaches.
I met the man of my dreams who is amazing. We own Lofty Coffee together.
She's a 7-figure coffee shop. Wow.
I have this thriving coaching business and instill in the people that I work with and that I get to connect and engage with that amazingness that God has given all of us. We're designed to own and be powerful.
Okay, so she didn't read till she was 12 because she has dyslexia. She had a baby young. Therefore, she's qualified to teach you how to live your life. Okay.
Glass half empty or half full. Depends on the perspective you have, right? I was having this conversation with a client yesterday and we were talking.
Wow. Riveting, life-changing. I've never heard of that analogy before. Are you a half glass full person or a half glass empty? Wow. Really makes me think. Okay. So this is the Baller Coach. She is Heidi's life coach. Cool. All right. Let's go back to Heids. Where are you? Stop hiding. Okay.
Like irrelevant, right? And I tell you that, and I want you to kind of think that through yourself. Like, who are you trying to please? Like, who do you feel like you need to be enough for? Whose love are you still trying to gain? I am in this still every day. I with my coach, and my guy I'm in a relationship with, we coach with her. We do couples coaching, and there are times where I'm trying to, you
do couples coaching. She just started dating this guy. It's already hitting the rocks. What's going on? Couples coaching. I don't know. I'm all about couples therapy when you've been with someone for a while and you're working on the relationship. I'm 100% on board with that. But couples coaching with someone you've just met in the last few months, I don't know. It sounds weird to me.
It's like you can see him trying to be appreciated and me trying to be enough. But those are both of our internal wounds, right? And she reminds us all the time. She's like, guys, it doesn't matter if, like your lack of appreciation, feeling of lack of appreciation, and Heidi, your lack of feeling enough. Like that's your internal wound. And you need to know that you are only enough through one person, and that's God and yourself. And to him, you only need to feel appreciated through one person, and that's God and also yourself. Anyway,
I would like to feel appreciated by my partner also, in addition to God and myself.
I'm tangenting. I'm all of this to say that I'm realizing, that all of this happened for a reason. Like all of this, I think God was up there and he's like, man, Heidi's doing some really cool stuff. And maybe she is doing it like she's fine tuning her skills. She's building her skill set. And now it's time for me to break her down a lot to build her back up. And I've been broken down a lot and then built up and broken down and built up. And it feels like it's all simultaneous. There's this breaking down as I'm building up. And I don't love it. I don't love it. And also I appreciate it so much. I do feel like I'm closer to.
Again, what is the breakdown? What is the build up? What is the breakdown? Give me an example. Give me something that I can, bite on, please.
Who I actually am now. Than I've ever been. And I guess I have to thank the hardship. I have to thank my panic attacks, which came as a result of me kind of doing my work and freaking.
This is like 2 years ago, these panic attacks. I understand panic attacks are horrible, but like, that's it? We're going to talk about it again?
The freak out when I saw how much of a mess was actually in there, And I realized that in summer of 2022, the life that I was living, the path I was traveling was so incongruent with where I actually wanted to go. And then the realization that where I actually want to go has nothing to do with where maybe God wants me to be. And then that acceptance of like, oh my gosh, okay, this isn't my world, it's his and I'm in it. And how do I align that? And then, it's like death struck really hard. And I should say death struck, and it was really hard. And as of now, this recording, don't worry guys, we're going to get to the boobs. We're going to get to the breasts and the Q&A. But as of this recording, it's been just over a year. And actually the week was just last week. And I know you're going to listen to this a couple weeks delayed. But it was a really interesting week for me, And I will say though, I did have a lot of time in my week last week to appreciate what that insane hardship did for me, because it did do so much.
Like what?
It brought me closer to God than I have ever been in my entire life. And I was already on my way there for the first time in my life, maybe as a kid, but like as an adult, I don't think I've ever been close to God. I don't think I knew what I believed. And now I do. And I appreciate, and it was, it honestly, I feel like God was like, I'm going to put you in a really hard situation. And here's another chance, Heidi. Let's see if you make the most of it. And then, now right as I'm like starting, I took time off. I spent more time with my family. I definitely rearranged my priorities. And then this stuff started happening. And what's interesting is during my time off, I was so now we're getting into the meat of it, guys. I'll kind of start talking about my health here. During my time off, I was in hypochondriac mode because my best friend just died and I was freaking out. I'm like, what if something's wrong with me? Like, what if I have some...
He died of a cocaine overdose with fentanyl in it and alcohol and had a heart problem. It's very different. Unless, I'm not saying that, but like... That's a different thing than like, a friend getting cancer and watching them, go through that or something. Like that's usually different. Usually you don't look at someone who's been murdered and go, oh, my health. I'm not saying he was murdered, but like as an example, it's like or someone getting in a car accident and dying and going, oh, I need to go get a checkup at the doctor. It's like, okay, like I guess, but is that related?
Something, and I don't even know that I have it. And then another friend of mine passed away in July. August or September. And that was hard for me, to that recognition. So not that many months after Dave died, she had died. And it's super scary. These things that would happen, these recognitions and these experiences piled one on another would kick me into anxiety again. And I'd have symptoms. Anxiety, if you don't know, it creates symptoms. Like it actually creates illness. My brother was telling me after this breast cancer scare, he actually was telling me a story about how he's like, I watched this reel or this video where they were saying there was a man who was diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer. And the doctor said to him, you have 30 days to live. And the guy spent the next 30 days getting his life in order and doing all these things. And he made it past 30 days to 35, and then he died. And when he was having his autopsy was being done, they opened him up, and the coroner, whoever it is that does autopsies, I don't remember, essentially said his mind killed him. He was actually misdiagnosed. He did not have the kind of cancer that they diagnosed him with. And it was his mind and his fear that fed illness, that created illness that eventually killed him.
I feel like this is like one of those like 1995, share this with 10 friends, or if you break the chain, you will, be haunted by a ghost. Like these are one of the stories like that they tell in these things that are, like little quips or little fables that they say, like, your mindset's so important. One time a man thought he had cancer. It's like, I mean, I could look it up to see if it's real, but this doesn't seem like a real story. It seems like a share this with 20,000 of your friends on Facebook story.
Killed him. Our minds are so powerful. I mean,
but it doesn't do the opposite also too. It's like, we watch Jessie Lee believe, I think wholeheartedly, that her, more holistic, non-chemo route of her cancer treatment was 1,000% going to heal her. I mean, I think she confidently believed that in her, heart, and she passed. Like, she believed to the very end that she was going to make a miraculous recovery, and it doesn't happen. So if you let fear in, okay, but if you believe and you delude yourself, it's just like, it's not related. I don't know. I don't think it's good for you to worry yourself and get stressed and all that, but it's not going to kill you like a liver disease in 30 days. Like, it's just ridiculous. But anyways, okay. And thank you to Angela Arnold. Angela Arnold says, as a recent breast cancer survivor, she can F off. Yeah. I feel like this is like, she's baiting us, like clickbaiting this whole thing, where it's like, okay, my medical update, but first, let me talk about Dave again. And second, let me talk about how amazing I'm doing. And third, let me talk about how happy I am with my new boyfriend and my life coach. It's like, can we get to the meat of this, please? Finally? Get to it.
And I was miserable staring out at my pool.
They're going to be dropping some really powerful, amazing, life-changing shiz.
We want the life-changing shiz, okay? That's what we want. And we're not getting it. And I stand with Angela Arnold. F you, Heidi, for all the reasons. Okay. And Danielle Ryan, hello. How's it going? Thank you for being here. Danielle Ryan said, $2.79 Canadian that Heidi is going to become a life coach. She kind of already technically is. I can't open her Instagram, but I'm pretty sure it says like, or at least it used to, like life coach and self-love coach or something along those lines. So I think she already fancies herself a life coach. Maybe she's not doing one-on-ones like Alejandra seems to do, but definitely, yeah, that sounds about right. And she feels ready to go. I'm sure that she's healed and she's holy and she's ready to be telling other people how to live.
I am not emotionally stable.
But I think that's not a good idea. Is that a good idea for her to be a life coach?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take my load.
That's naughty, Heidi. That's very naughty.
I'd fill that load.
Heidi, stop it.
You're not Mel Robbins. You'll never be Mel Robbins.
And that's a good thing. Thank you, Danielle. Okay, back to it.
Anything you walk away from this episode with, I want it to be that, like truly. And I have my friend Kira, who you guys know, she has reminded me over and over, fear feeds illness.
No, it doesn't.
Healing is fed by faith. Healing is fed by love. And so I've been trying so hard that first week after. So here, let me say this.
Oh God.
I spent the past year before I found the lump. I guess it was about 8 months from Dave's death until November, no, I guess about whatever it was, 10 months, having every test under the sun done, like literally every test. I went and got a full body MRI. I saw a neurologist. I did everything because my anxiety was creating these symptoms that felt very, very real. It created real symptoms. And
what were the symptoms?
I did that Pronuvo full body scan in October, which was supposed to catch anything. It did catch a couple things. I don't think I'm going to talk about them on here, but it did catch some things. And they're things that I'm like currently being seen by a doctor for. And then I even did my annual mammogram, I think it was September.
I thought we were best friends, Heidi. What the hell?
So in September, I did an annual mammogram, nothing. What they did say, and this is important, that mammogram, and I didn't know what it meant at the time, did say you have dense breast tissue. Please discuss this with your physician. So my OBGYN was like, well, does breast cancer run in your family? The answer is no. So there's an answer to some of your questions. It does not run in my family. Okay, you're healthy. Everything's checking out. You're fine. You don't need to do any further tests. So I didn't. And mammogram clear, dense breast tissue, but I'm fine. My MRI in October came back and said the same thing. Said silicone, actually did say my silicone implants were in place, which answers that question. Yes, I have silicone implants. And said you do have, said dense breast tissue present. I didn't read the details of the MRI until recently, after all this stuff had happened. But what it did say in there, it said dense breast.
The MRI costs like $2,500, the Pernuvo one. And there's a lot of, I don't know, debate is the right word. Like in Jessie Lee's case, she did the Pernuvo MRI and it did detect that she could have like a mass in her abdomen, I believe. And then she went and got like more tests and did the Greek test and did all these other tests. Or no, that was like after, but I guess that was one of the first indicators that something was wrong, was the Pernuvo. So it's possible it could find something, but it's also like not necessary for most people, I've heard, and it's very high priced. And so there's a lot of like, this is like an influencer thing, not necessarily like good advice for everybody, but yeah, just, I don't know. I guess that was the point I was trying to make.
Breast tissue present. Please follow up.
Oh, I was saying like that she didn't even like care to look at the results. She spends $2,500 because she's afraid of, being ill and then doesn't even look at it. It's like kind of weird. Anyways.
But what it did say in there, it said dense breast tissue present. Please follow up by getting an ultrasound of your breast tissue. And I think a diagnostic mammogram.
I have that too. I have dense breast tissue, if you needed to know. And I have gotten 2 ultrasounds before because it is so dense that you can't tell, like if something, it just feels like hard. Oversharing on my end now. But it's been clear. So there's been nothing, but that's something that I also have to deal with, I guess. So relatable, girl. I relate to you. Not that I would ignore the advice, but yeah, relatable.
Read that. I didn't get an ultrasound. Luckily though, in December, when I'm in Florida, little Cash is having his appendix out. I'm in the hotel and I'm laying down. I had a bikini on. So I'm laying on the bed, just kind of chilling. And I started feeling, I don't know why, sometimes I just touch my boobs, I guess. But I was feeling my right side, like outer, I mean, if you're watching this, you can see it's like under my armpit, but like the edge of where my silicone implant meets kind of my armpit right there, or under the armpit, top right corner. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lump. So I'm like, okay, feel this. And I can actually feel it right now. There's a lump on the right side. Now, many of you had the question saying, what did the lump feel? Okay, so when did I notice it? Actually, December 6th is when I noticed it, I believe was the date. Okay.
Her child was getting too much attention from the doctor. So she said, let me find something on me. No, I'm just kidding. But am I kidding? Wouldn't put it past her. Okay.
Did I experience pain? Many of you ask. I did not experience pain. I just found it. Now, I do believe I found it at a time where I was, once a month, my boobs get sore, like when I'm ovulating. And so I did find I was ovulating at the time. And and so my breast tissue was a little swollen. And so I was like, oh my gosh, maybe like I can kind of feel the breast tissue swelling. But this was like a lump inside of the breast tissue. And I'm like, maybe it's just breast tissue. Maybe it's nothing important, but like there's a lump there. Now it was not a hard lump. It was movable. So it was kind of rubbery and movable, not hard, not stuck. And I remember reading that hard and stuck is typically what a malignant lump is like. Malignant means cancerous. They say the movable ones are usually benign, from what I understand. I have read about this before. Never found a lump, but I found that. And I'm like, interesting. So I go home and I actually I went, so many of you asked what doctors I went to. I initially started with my OBGYN. I now have a handful of doctors involved for different reasons, and I'll explain all of it because it's progressing, or, as we're getting questions answered, we're realizing this is not a one-stop shop type of thing. It's like my brain, I am now the detective. I am. And I want you to hear this. As I tell you my story, I want you to hear that it's so important that you have doctors, but you are the one in charge. Okay. And you need doctors, but you also need many opinions. As I've gone through this is a lesson I am learning in real time. Do not take one person's advice as gold because they don't know.
Yeah, and also, it is a privileged position to be in. And I've said this a million times. It's like, because there's not free healthcare, people have to work. They can only get off once. Their insurance only is taken at certain places. There's waiting lists. There's things going on. They can't afford a second opinion that's out of their network or whatever. So yes, I agree with her, but it's not going to work for everybody. So it's not your fault if you get misdiagnosed. It's just a symptom of the whole system.
Like, they're educated, they're more educated than you in that medicine, but you are more educated than them on your body. Do not forget that. You are in charge. Okay?
As someone who has no diagnosis apparently, or doesn't know what's going on. Okay.
So I started with my OBGYN. I went in and showed her the lump, and she's like, okay, yeah, there's a lump there. She said it feels like a fat pocket. There's like fat pockety things that kind of form. She said, I don't think it's a big deal. I think you're fine, but would you feel better doing a diagnostic mammogram? And I've learned even with my OB, right? I sometimes have, I'll get abnormal paps, and I'll have the next one. I've had to do a biopsy and the next one's clear. And then they're like, hey, you don't need to come back for 2 or 4 years. I'm like, no, I'm coming in every year or every 6 months because I want to know ahead of.
Wait, I got to slow it down. I feel like it's too fast now. Sorry. Rachel can go that slow, but I'm missing parts.
I had to do a biopsy and the next one's clear.
She had to do a biopsy? Okay, hold on.
Pockety things that kind of form. She said, I don't think it's a big deal. I think you're fine, but would you feel better doing a diagnostic mammogram? And I've learned even with my OB, right? I sometimes have, I'll get abnormal paps, and I'll have the next one. I've had to do a biopsy and the next one's clear. And then they're like, hey, you don't need to come back for 2 or 4 years. I'm like, no, I'm coming in every year or every 6 months because I want to know ahead of time if something's happening. And I've learned that it's okay for me to tell a doctor no. It's okay for me to request kindly the care that I want or the tests that I want. And I did not know that before. So I hope you're hearing me. If you're like I was, where you are like, okay, the doctor said, so I need to take it. No, you don't. You can actually kindly ask, okay, thank you, I hear you. And for peace of mind, I would prefer having the test done. And so that's kind of what happened with the diagnostic mammogram. I said, for peace of mind, yeah, I think I'm going to do the diagnostic anyway. She's like, okay, I think you're going to have to pay out of pocket because XYZ. I said, fine, I'll do it.
Fine, I'm a boss babe. I got the money, I got the cash. I'm on ABC, I'm good.
We're good. And so
exactly.
I left, that was beginning of December. And I think I scheduled and rescheduled my diagnostic mammogram 3 times. 3 times. My third time rescheduling was middle to end of January of this year, 2024. And third time, because in my mind, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. She said it was probably nothing. It's not that big of a deal. And it was scheduled for a Saturday, a day when I had my kids. And I was like, I was driving from somewhere back home. And I was like, oh man, it looks like my mammogram's in 20 minutes. I'd have to go straight there and I'm going to miss.
Oh, it looks like my mammogram's in 20 minutes. That was a biopsy. And also, I don't know, it's very irresponsible. So you cancel within 20 minutes of it going? That's not good. You have to pay a late fee, I would assume. That's just irresponsible.
Miss out on time with my kids. I don't know if I want to miss out on time with my kids right now. So I think I'm just going to cancel again, is literally what went through my head. And I was on the phone with my mom, and my mom was like, oh, are you going to go to your thing? And I said, I don't think so. Mom, I haven't seen the kids all morning. I had this going on and this. I don't like when I'm not with them. I'm just going to go home and be with them. I'll reschedule it. I said, I might just cancel it altogether because I don't think it's anything. And she says, I really think you need to do this. I really think just close it up. Go. If you want me to go be with your kids right now, I'm in town. I can go have fun with them. I'll take them to Target, make cookies or whatever. And I'm like,
yeah, she's going to go every 6 months to get a pap smear because she demands that she's taken care of and knows ahead of time if something's wrong. But yet the doctor and an MRI are saying you need to get this looked at. And she cancels 3 times because she wants to spend time with her kids. Something's not adding up here.
Oh, okay, you're probably right. Let me just get it over with so I can check it off my list, right? So I go to my appointment, and when I get there at Simon Med, they had said to me, okay, this is going to take like 15 minutes. We're just going to do the ultrasound first. And if the ultrasound is clear, you're not even going to have to do the diagnostic mammogram. And I'm like, awesome. And so, you know how ultrasound techs are super like talkative. And if everything is okay, they're like, oh, look.
Yeah, that's a well-known fact. Every ultrasound tech is always super talkative. That's why you get into the field. You know, the gift of gab is become an ultrasound tech.
It's here. And they usually say, like with the babies, when everything, they're like, oh, your baby's healthy. The heart's great. I walk in, or as I lay on the table, she's like, okay, this is your breast tissue. This is da-da-da. And then she like stops. And I'm like, do you see the lump? Do you feel the lump? And she's like, I'm not allowed to say anything to you until the doctor talks to you. And I was like, oh, okay, red flag. That actually scared me right away. Making a long story short, she didn't talk to me for the rest of the time and sent me out to the waiting room. And she said, I'm going to go back and forth with the doctor. And then, and they start by saying you'll have results in 1 to 3 days or whatever. She said, I need to go back and forth with the doctor. Let me see if he wants anything else. And if he wants you to do the mammogram, I'll let you know. So I wait. And then she comes out and says, okay, the doctor wants me to take more pictures. Come on in. So I go back in for round 2 and she does her thing. And she said, okay, go ahead and sit out there. I'll let you know what the doctor says. 20 minutes later, she's like, he needs more pictures. He needs me to measure some things. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what? So I go in, she's measuring things and taking more pictures and says, okay, go ahead and have a seat. And she said, we'll let you know once he reviews what he wants to do. And, I knew at that point, I'm like, something's off, 3 times in with yeah, something's off. So I waited for a while. She came out and said, doctor wants you to do the mammogram. And he's going to give you a call after to discuss before you leave. I've never had that happen. So anyway, I do the mammogram. It was a total of like a 3.5 hour appointment, you guys. It was so long and I was freaking out, like trying not to cry. And it ended up having a conversation with the doctor before I left. And essentially he said that what lump I was feeling was a swollen lymph node. So that swollen lymph node, he said it's big and it had been there at that point for at least 1.5 months, possibly longer. And I just hadn't felt it. And he said, but that's not the one we're really worried about. The one that we're really worried about is up in your armpit. Because she had done like the whole armpit thing. And, they showed me, they said that lymph node is missing the hilum, something called hilum, I guess, which is what makes it bright in appearance and healthy. And he said, that's what's concerning. And he was very like, hey, Heidi, I need you to know this is serious. I need you to come in for a biopsy. I'm going to let your doctor know today. And I would schedule as soon as possible. Like, and then the letter that they sent the next day or that day was like very like all this bold saying this is serious, schedule this, get in for the biopsy. So I get in for the biopsy. My doctor's on board. He has to send the order for it. Biopsies a week later on Monday, a week and a half later. There's all this prep you do for biopsy where you can't have I think you can't, I don't know, caffeine or whatever. You can't have blood thinners or,
I didn't know. I didn't follow it. So whatever. Okay.
Fish oil, because you need to be able to clot, right? And they were going to do the biopsy where they stick a needle in the lymph node, they extract the fluid, and they send it to the pathologist, which then they said, and let me clarify this, the doctor did say, we want to, it's either lymphoma, it's another kind of cancer, or it's an infected lymph node. And so we want to find out what's going on, right? But they had only done the armpit. And I show up for my biopsy, different location, same imaging company. And I get in. These are breast specialists, I think, maybe. And great. I've done all this prep work and we get in. They're like, hey, we're going to redo the ultrasound, the mammogram. We don't know that you need a biopsy. And I'm like, oh, okay, doctors. Yeah, the doctor looked at it, says, you don't need a biopsy. I'm like, huh, really? Cool. That's awesome. So I go in.
They're breast specialists, I think, or there's something. They're life coaches, maybe? I don't know. I just walked in and they told me I don't need this.
They did the same ultrasound, I don't even think they got to a mammogram. They did the same ultrasound. They said, we want to do an ultrasound on your other side to see your other lymph nodes. And so they did. And then doctor came in and said, okay, so here's the deal. Yeah, they're swollen, a little bit abnormal on that one side, but you're fine on the left side. Your left side's great. So it's nothing. Like you might have a microbead of silicone, but you're fine. And I'm like, that's awesome news. I didn't have to get poked. I didn't have to get whatever. And then I come home to you guys. I'm like, great news, everybody online.
I come home to you guys. That's a concerning statement.
Fine. Basically, it's nothing. And I overreacted for no reason. I kind of felt a little bit stupid for overreacting. I felt super bad. And I was so glad I had canceled the podcast where I was just an emotional mess. It was set to go out that day. And yeah, I was like, world, I'm good. And it's going to go down. It's probably silicone. So then in my mind though, with that question mark, what kept me going is someone had said, it was my primary doctor. He had called and said, don't let question marks, you can't have question marks exist. We got to figure out what it is. There's something going on. So what is it? And so in my mind, well, maybe it's breast implant illness. I hear about it all the time. Many of you guys mention it and message me about it all the time. But the weird thing is I don't have any of the other symptoms. Yeah, I have thinning hair. I don't get rashes. I don't have, I mean, any brain fog is because I'm just, I got 4 kids. I am exhausted.
Any brain fog, just blame on my children.
But that exhaustion just came on within the past couple months, like extreme exhaustion. So I'm like, maybe it's breast implant illness. I was talking to my friend Mel Robbins, who I asked her, I said, okay, now I'm at a place where, I'm wondering if I should get these taken out. What are your thoughts on that? Because I remember she had hers out and she said, Heidi, it was the single best gift I've ever given myself. She was going on and telling me about how certain types of implants, specifically textured implants, actually create and can lead to lymphoma. So this is a real thing, you guys. And she has a really great doctor who, I think it was a Mayo Clinic doctor, who is funding all of the research around breast implant illness. Now, I don't know if I have breast implant illness, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Danica Patrick's a big talker about this, which is unfortunate because I think it's probably a real thing. I'm guessing that it makes sense to me that there could be complications from breast implants over the years. But Danica Patrick being such a conspiracy theorist, it almost like makes me feel like, oh, this is not a real thing because she's out of her mind and all the things she talks about. But she got her breast implants out because of the illness, I guess.
Because I've had more tests done since. However, I do not want to minimize breast implant illness. It's a very real thing. I went on, there's Facebook groups online, and Mel had actually said, if you join the Facebook group and you read, you're going to call this doctor in 10 minutes because it is unreal how symptoms are there and people ignore them or just think it's normal. And once they remove their implants, they completely go away. And so I'm thinking, if it's like that doctor had said, if it's a microbead of silicone, or maybe I have a leak, like I don't know what it is, but there's something there. So I'm kind of on that path, that track, and I'm looking into doctors. I have an appointment next week with a breast cancer specialist because I still want to check it all out. So I have so many appointments right now with so many people, and I'm using all of their information and their advice as clues for me to figure out what's going on with me. Okay. I am going to see a breast specialist who also does do work. She's local. She does work around and understands breast implant illness and, ruptures and cancer and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to see her next week just to rule that out or get more information on it. So after I talked to Mel, kind of went down this path, I have a friend, my hair loss specialist, Carly Klein. She owns National Hair Loss Association. I was just chatting with her about it. I'm like, yeah, here's where I'm at. It's so crazy. I can't tell if it's leading to more hair loss, but I'm really tired, and check out my hair. And she's just awesome, you guys. I have the best people in my life.
Can you wrap this up, please?
She's the one who actually recommended I go see. It's Dr. Linda Liu in Arizona, Liu. Linda Liu. I think she's a breast oncologist or something. So I have an appointment with her. Carly had set me up with her. And then Carly also said, hey, I want you to talk to, because I was telling her about the lymph nodes. And at that point, you guys, so a couple things. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I did find a hard lump on my left side, hard, immovable. They checked it out on that last mammogram and they said they believe it's calcification. Okay. So I'm feeling it right now with my hand. It's actually a little bit tender, but it's there. So they said that doctor who said you don't need a biopsy was like, oh, it's calcification on your left side. You're fine. So Carly had given me both the name of this breast cancer specialist. And then she also gave me, she said, I'd really like to set you up because of your lymph nodes, which, guys, at that point, I realized all up and down my neck on the right side, my lymph nodes are big, like a string of lymph nodes down my neck. And then we got the one on my boob is still there. And the one on my armpit, if those are there, I guarantee the one on my armpit is still there. I just can't feel it. And so she said, I want you to talk to an endocrinologist friend of mine who's really amazing. And so those are kind of the appointments I have scheduled. And at the same time, around the same time, my primary doctor called me and said, hey, I just saw that Simon Med didn't perform the biopsy. And he said, not okay. I want you to get the biopsy. And I said, oh, good, because here's what's happening. I have lymph nodes on the right side of my neck that are swollen now. And maybe they've been there, maybe they haven't been, but like I feel them today. And I also had noticed in my groin, so down on the right side of my groin, those lymph nodes are big too. Only one side. So everything is on my right side right now. And this is current. This is only a couple weeks ago, everything on the right side. So he said, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to send you to Smile, SMIL. You guys, this is not an ad. I'm obsessed with them. I have not been to them very often. And I think my stuff has never been scary like this. They are awesome. So he said, I want to send you to Smile. We're going to go there. We're going to do an ultrasound on the neck. I'm going to have them redo the ultrasound on the armpit and get their opinion. And he said, I already know, Heidi, I want the armpit biopsied. I can see your ultrasound from before. I want it biopsied. I want to figure out what's going on. Let's check out your neck. Let's see if those are abnormal. Maybe we biopsy 2 areas, but just go in. And so
again, this is also like a story you should tell your mom, your friends, your spouse, your boyfriend. I don't think the whole internet needs to know every detail, every doctor you went to, everything. Like, it's not helpful unless it's helpful. Like, I'm so confused. I'm like, what's going on? Does she get to any conclusion? I don't think so at the end of this. She doesn't get to anywhere. So it's like, seems a very much like, you better figure this all out and then maybe you can like learn the lesson and then tell us what you glean from it. But I'm just sort of like, this is very personal information that I don't think is helpful.
Smile, because they're so amazing. They do schedule out quite a ways. And so I had gotten in for my neck ultrasound yesterday. As of recording, this was yesterday.
So neck, armpit, breast,
but the breast one, the armpit one, scheduled out like 2 months because it comes with a diagnostic mammogram and they couldn't get me until April. So I go in for the neck ultrasound and they are just awesome. So I'm kind of giving my background. She's looking at my neck. And she starts by saying, okay, you're going to get results in 1 to 2 days, or maybe it was 2 to 3, sent to your doctor and your doctor will call you. I said, great. And so as she's going, she's kind of quiet and she's like, do you have any autoimmune issues? I think she said, do you have any autoimmune disorders? And that is a question that a lot of you guys asked me. A lot of you say, do you have autoimmune disease? Did you have...
Well, she at one point did a hair follicle scan like 2 years ago, and somebody told her it was Epstein-Barr, but I'm pretty sure whoever that person she got that test from was like a medical medium, health practitioner, energy, not qualified in anything person, because they told her she had Epstein-Barr, which I never heard about it again, but I think that was from that. I'm assuming it was a medical medium type health wellness person. But yeah, she never talked about it again. That was like 2 years ago. She just happened to mention that. She said, oh, I have heavy metals in my hair follicle because of Epstein-Barr. I needed to drink celery juice. It was like, okay, well, I know where that came from.
autoimmune disease? Do you have any autoimmune diseases? You guys asked about Epstein-Barr. So I'm now answering this, okay? I actually don't know much about autoimmune issues. And when she asked, I said, I don't think so. I don't know. And I didn't really know that Epstein-Barr was an autoimmune issue. I know that it's a virus, and maybe it's not an autoimmune issue, but it seems to be linked to, I do think it is an autoimmune issue. But she said, okay. And she just keeps going. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, she found something. Like, they're definitely swollen. I can tell by how. And then she says, hey, do you mind if I know I don't have an order for it. Are you cool if I just do the other side? Because I want it for comparison for the doctor. I said, yep. So she does the other side of my neck. And then she said, they're just so great there, you guys. She said, okay, I think you mentioned that you're doing your armpit in a couple months here. Do you mind if I go ask the doctor if he's okay if I just do it now? Because I don't think you need another mammogram. I think you just need an ultrasound. And I feel like for you to get the best care, a doctor needs to be provided on the same visit with an ultrasound of all of these areas. And I was like, this is the kind of imaging place I want to be at. This is the kind of care everyone deserves. She didn't know me from anyone else. And she was taking...
But she's also saying you don't need a mammogram. You don't need this stuff. It just seems like people are just jerking her around. Like, you do need this. You don't need this. You do need this. You do. And I don't know if it's her fault or like the doctor's fault or whose fault it is. But it seems like it's all chaotic and not a good system. And this is a breast specialist. I think it's like, it doesn't seem like there's no confidence about any of this stuff that's been done so far. So it's like, I would want to know a lot more details and answers before I would get on a podcast and talk about it for sure. But also just my own sake. Like, I feel like she's not quite, really understanding what's going on here.
Taking such good care of me. So I said, oh my gosh, yes, that would be so awesome. So she went out, talked to the doctor, came back and said, he says, I'm totally okay to do it. So let me go talk to the scheduler real quick. We're going to remove your appointment from April to today. She said, I'm going to make time for this for you because this is important to me that you get answers. I mean, like, I could cry at that because I just appreciate it so much. So she proceeds, does all the things, does my armpit on my right side, said, do you mind if I do the left? So she does all my lymph nodes, armpit, neck, right and left. And then said, okay, let me go talk to the doctor. And he's going to come in and give you your results. So once again, it's not 1 to 3 days. It's the doctor, coming in today. And I wait for a while and the doctor comes in who is just awesome. And he said, okay, I'm hearing your background. I'm seeing all of your things. Do you mind if I do a quick medical background questionnaire? Let me ask you some questions. And then he said, give me your recent medical history. So I kind of started telling him about the panic attacks and this and that and Epstein-Barr in 2021. And he said, oh, and he said, okay. He said, that makes me feel like, he said, that actually makes all of this make a little more sense. And he said, in short, your lymph nodes are very swollen on the right side. Your lymph nodes are swollen and irregular in your armpit. And he said something is systemically happening in your body. He said, I do not believe it's silicone in a lymph node like the past doctor said. Because he said, usually we can see silicone on an ultrasound. And if it was silicone or caused by your silicone, it would be confined to that area. He said, your lymph nodes on your neck, you're growing. He said, your body is reacting to something that is happening systemically. And he said, it is going to be a little bit difficult to nail down what's happening in your body. And he was so great. He had said, it's very important that you use all of these things as clues. He said, I definitely want a biopsy. We don't want to do the biopsy with the needle. We're going to do the kind. He said, I perform the biopsies where we make a slit, an incision. We go in. He said, we're going to take out a piece of your lymph node and we put a marker in that's the size. It's a titanium marker. It's like the size of your eyelash, your lower lid eyelash. And he said, that way we'll know always that is the lymph node that we biopsied.
Okay, I know we're in this riveting story, but Not Jenna Cash. Thank you so much, Not Jenna Cash, our favorite hippie. Not Jenna Cash says, "Isn't it wonderful to be God's favorite?" Yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about that.
They're going to be dropping some really powerful, amazing, life-changing shiz.
I was birthing Heidi Lane. God was like, "You're done."
That's the perfect soundbite for you, Jenna Cash.
God was like, "You're done.
You're my favorite, but now you're not. I got to put you through trials and tribulations because I only care about what you're doing on earth. That is my only care in the world."
There's a first for everything.
Thank you, Not Jenna Cash.
And he said, and then from there, we send it into the pathologist because going to pathology is going to be the only way that we're able to see if it's cancer, if it's lymphoma, or if it's any other kind of cancer. He said that's the.
So basically the Simon Imaging screwed up. That's the gist I'm getting. They screwed up. They said, you don't need this. And then she did need it because everyone's saying she does need it. That's the summary here.
Only way.
Know me. Thank you. Welcome. You have parasites now.
Well, no. And he said, and because of your history and kind of what's going on, he said, I'm going to send your sample to another lab that I don't usually send them to I think it's outside of LA. He said, where they will test for many, many, many other things because I know how frustrating this is. You haven't gotten answers. It was just awesome, you guys. So I go in now. Let me just say this too. Their nurse after called me to schedule the biopsy and was so wonderful. Oh my gosh. So I'm going in for the biopsy next Wednesday. Today is Friday. So in 5 days I go in for the biopsy and, I'm very, and they are only going to biopsy one area. And I had asked, I said, okay, do we biopsy the armpit and the neck? And he said, no, we're just going to start with one. And if we feel like we need to biopsy the other areas, we will. But he said, chances are whatever's happening in your armpit is also what's happening in your neck and you're growing. And he said, so let's just start with one. And he said, then we're going to send all these results back to your doctor. And then you and your doctor together will be able to put all of the pieces together to all of the different tests that you've had or have had or are going to have to figure out what it is. And he said, I don't want you to worry though. He said, yes, there is a small chance it could be some kind of cancer. And there's also 100 other things it could be. He said autoimmune disorders. He said Epstein-Barr. You could be having a flare-up of Epstein-Barr right now, which, side note, many of you guys asked about that. I do feel like there is a big part of me right now that is hoping that it's that's believing it's that, because the exhaustion, you guys, is real. I'm a little bit congested.
She already said she had Epstein-Barr, according to her, like 2 years ago. So there wouldn't be a miraculous understanding.
A little bit of a sore throat. And so I really am just hoping that my Epstein-Barr is reactivated. He did say, and this is maybe news for you guys, and I did read this online as well, but Epstein-Barr is a contributor to lymphoma. So if you have Epstein-Barr or have had it, you do have a higher chance of developing lymphoma. So I really, really, really urge you guys who have had Epstein-Barr to keep an eye out for these symptoms. Always be don't feel stupid going in and getting them checked. I've had to get over that. And I'm so glad that I've gotten over it and I'm going in and that I got checked. Another thing I want to add to this. So I am getting I had called my plastic surgeon. So about the breast implants, because a lot of you guys have asked, are you getting them taken out? Would you consider getting them taken out? Is this breast implant illness? We don't know, right? But we're slowly over time dwindling, getting more information to figure out what it is. I think my gut says it's something autoimmune.
Well, if your gut says it,
whatever it is, even if it's, the C word, I am in a place where I am so confident that I have the best people and I have God on my side and I have a great attitude about all of it. Finally, I believe it's meant for me to fight whatever it is. And I had that realization, after I did a breathwork session when I first found out that it could be something bad, and I was crying, and I feel like my message from God was, you aren't meant to surrender to this, Heidi. You are meant to fight this. You are meant.
Surrender how? You did everything that you're supposed to do. Granted, you delayed the, biopsy and all of that in the mammogram originally, which I would say is a bad idea. But yeah, you're supposed to go, well, I guess I'll just never know what happened. I think that's, I don't know. I guess she thinks she's special and better than everyone. So she needs to be here to share her wisdom. I don't know. I think it's coping, I guess. She's just coping with being nervous, which makes sense. I get it, but it's just kind of odd to think that. No, Heidi, you specifically are meant to fight it. Other people are meant to just succumb to their illnesses. Jen D08, thank you so much. 18 stinking months. Thank you for being a member. Jen D08 says she just doesn't want to get her implants out. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, that she doesn't really want it to be anything related to that because then she'd have to get rid of them, which, hey, I think it would make her look a lot thinner if she didn't have the implants. Okay, here's a hot take, and I apologize, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I think a lot of people, and specifically this one person that I see on her Instagram constantly, she's from Selling Sunset, Emma. I follow her on Instagram, and she's got, breast implants, obviously. I'm like, if she didn't have the breast implants, everyone would be commenting on her Instagram like, eat something. Oh my God, you're underweight, because people, that's like anyone who doesn't have breast implants that is very, very thin, that's like every single comment on Instagram. But if you have breast implants, then all of a sudden it's like, you're so hot, you're so sexy. I'm like, it's so interesting how getting that and being very thin, like everyone just kind of goes, yeah. Like it's only concerning when women have like flat chests. Then everyone's like, you need to eat today. Just something I noticed, that's all. So maybe she's concerned because people will be like more concerned about her weight if she doesn't have them or something. I don't know. That's just my hot take. Apologies in non-advance.
To be made stronger through this super scary and hard thing. And I actually feel like in that moment, another thing I was told was that whatever I'm about to embark upon is going to be one of the hardest things that I've been through. Even if it's just these weeks of not knowing, and they are really hard. And I'm meant to walk through this. And I'm going to do it with faith and confidence and love and all of the things that come with that. And just to kind of talk about a few other things that I've mentioned on my social, because I think that they're all connected. I truly do. I had the call with the endocrinologist who believes a lot of these things are connected too. I had a call with my plastic surgeon. So real quick to tie a bow on plastic surgeon and, asking him what he thinks. He said, number one, Heidi, you do not have the textured implants. If you have textured implants, which I think some people call them gummy bear implants. If you have those, the textured implants have been proven to be linked to lymphoma. Hear me when
we need our child vlogging children to get gummy bear implants so we can start marketing the disgusting calendars that these moms make for their daughters that are in dance classes that are like, YouTube moms. They need to get their gummy bear implants stat before they hit puberty. Okay, that's a joke, obviously, but that's my first thought is like, oh my God, don't tell that to the vlogging moms. They'll be calling their plastic surgeons. I heard that there's a child plastic surgery we can get our little Sally. They would do it too. They have no qualms about it. Okay.
I say that some of the things, the signs they say to look out for breast implant illness. Are you getting rashes? Do you have brain fog? Like as I was talking to a friend about this, she's like, oh my hell. I have textured implants. I have rashes all over. I'm exhausted. I have brain fog. I'm itchy. And I'm like, go get checked. So if you have those, go get checked. Go ask your doctor, at least make a call to your plastic surgeon. Ask if you have those implants. Just get information. So my plastic surgeon did say, hey, Heidi, if you were my wife or my daughter or my mom or my sister, and I love when a doctor says this, and I've had multiple doctors tell me this. If you were my wife, my daughter, my sister, my mother, I would have you go get checked. And once again, reminding me, do not let question marks remain. Get to the bottom of it. If you don't, you're going to have anxiety. Don't let question marks exist. Get an answer. So he said, I want you to do an MRI. I'm going to have you go in. I want to do an MRI. I want to see. I'm going to ask them specifically.
She already got an MRI. What the heck? Now we're back at MRI. That's where we started. Oh, boy. Mel K. Thank you so much, Mel K. Mel K. This is their first super on a live stream. Oh, thank you for the honor. Thank you so much. And for that, I say,
I'm going to smash your phone. I've been an alpha female.
And Taro says, thank you. Want to say something? We're doing the Taro biopsy right now. Sorry. Also,
we have a lot of really great friends from Canada.
Thank you, Mel K. Thank you so much. Okay. Back to it. We're almost done. We're like got a couple minutes left.
To look for silicone contrast and make sure there's not a slow leak, a rupture, nothing, because it's really important that we make sure that's not the case. So I have an appointment for an MRI that I'll be doing just to rule that out. Through my endocrinologist, who I had a conversation with, thanks to Carly. We're doing a couple other things too, because I do, in my blood work, my liver enzymes are elevated, and they have been for a couple months. You guys, Epstein-Barr results is accompanied by highly elevated liver enzymes. And when my test would come back, I'm like, what the heck? I don't drink alcohol. I don't do anything. I have been taking a lot of prescriptions for yeast infections. TMI, but also we're all in this together, right? So, and I thought that
Is that supposed to be like, yeah, you know what that means? I am getting it on with my boyfriend and just sitting in it. Like, okay, I am going in the pool and not changing my bathing suit for hours. You know my love life is amazing. Like, I don't get the laughing other than it's just uncomfortable and like very much TMI. I did not need to know any of this, number one. Number two, I don't need to know about your yeast. Sorry, don't need to know. It's all good. I'm glad you're getting taken care of, but I don't need to know. That's some stuff is for your Start Today journal. You can just put it in there.
Elevated liver enzymes were because of the yeast infections. I've also been having bacterial infections. You guys, it's just like one thing after the next. But I think they all work together. I have the marker for celiac. I don't have celiac, but I have that antibody that is present with celiac. So I have, as of October, completely cut out gluten, which should dwindle some of these things, right? But because I've cut out gluten and these things are still present, bacteria, yeast, I do a very low sugar diet now. There's something off in my body. There's something going on, clearly. And I will say too, I've been reading up on Epstein-Barr. They say sugar is one of the worst things for it. Eating anti-inflammatory foods, which I've been doing a lot of, is actually what you need to be doing. So I'm going back in for blood work on Saturday, checking my liver enzymes. Again, all of these things that were going to be clues in creating the best hypothesis, like creating the best solution, getting an answer to what's actually happening. And I'm super, super grateful for it. I'm going to see real quick a couple questions. Someone had said, I'm curious about the full body scan and why it didn't pick up the lymph nodes. You know what? That's a really great question. I went back through that Pronuvo scan and I'm like, where the heck in here does it show my lymph nodes? Nowhere. Does not show my lymph nodes anywhere. So I think next time I do it, I'm going to have to make a special request.
She'll be sponsoring Pronuvo in no time. So don't think that, she's like, next time I get this thing, because that is something you can get sponsored by. I've seen it. Somebody, speaking of selling Sunset, I think Chriselle just got a sponsorship from Pronuvo, if I'm not mistaken. It's like, geez, soon we're gonna be getting Boniva. I need my calcium pills sponsorships. Like, they're just like regulated medication's gonna be sponsored now. I don't put it past our capitalistic empire here to do that. Like, do you need liver medication? Our sponsor, Our influencer is going to talk about it. Okay, sorry.
It's like every other symptom was analyzed except for my lymph nodes, like the one that actually had an issue.
Over $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, seems like a scam.
Sorry, I'm reading a couple of these questions too. So I hope that answers the question. Many of you guys say, what MD did you go to? I mean, this is most of your questions, all of these things. The MD or the doctor that I went to initially was my OB, but for anyone that's experiencing any of this, and know this, insurance has covered almost all of this, all of it, besides that first diagnostic mammogram. Know this, that the doctor, I went to my OB who started ordering things. And then I was like, okay, now that we know something's happening with me or something's going on, Heidi, need to choose the doctor to best be the detective for this. And so I was like, great. Thank you to my OB. I love her and the network of women. They're really great. But my general doctor is the best of the best of the best of the best. And I knew he was the one who helped me get my questions answered with Epstein-Barr a couple of years ago. I'm like, Dr. Phil is the doctor I want spearheading this. So I called him up and I said, hey, here's what's going on. These are the tests I've had done that my OB ordered. I want you to take over. So what do I do? And he said, okay, call Simon Med, call everywhere, get the records transferred.
No, Simon Med needs to be out of this, according to her. Thank you to Daria Whitaker. Thank you so much to Daria Whitaker, picking some hippopotamuses. Hippopoti? How do you say the plural of hippopotamuses? Is that right? Let me know. Thank you, Daria. Thank you so much. And for that, I say...
I don't know anything more cultish than that.
And also...
Nobody blames the egg.
Epstein-Barr.
They act like they do no harm. They act like they're positive. And this is what they're up to.
That's medical medium talking about eggs. Thank you, Daria. I appreciate it. Okay, we're almost done, I swear.
Transferred. I'll have him in my system. And as things come in, he is the one that I am updating. Like I have these other doctors looking in, like a cancer specialist and the endocrinologist who's also doing this, vaginal swab for something else, but all of it, like when I get the results, I do save all of my results.
I don't know. I find that so funny. She's like, she just has to tell us she's getting her vagina swabbed and that she's got yeast infections. Like, what is that relevant at all to the story? She's like, I don't know. It's just so random. Oh, okay. Cool. I got a different doctor that's giving me vag swabs. Like, good job. Congratulations. Woo! I'm so happy. Glad we know this.
And that's another thing I want you guys to know. If you go to LabCorp or Sonoran Quest or whoever's doing your blood draws, I did not know in my earlier years that I am allowed to have those papers, right? I'm allowed to have the results. I always just assumed the doctors had them and that's who holds them. No, every time I have a test done now for the past couple of years, I call LabQuest or LabCorp or Sonoran Quest and I say, I'd like a copy of my results. So they always send them to me. I have even my MRIs, my ultrasounds, I get everything sent to me. So I save them in my folder. So I always have the results. If just in case I need to take it somewhere. So very important for you to know that. That's a lot of information. I mean, we are touching on an hour here, guys. So I'm going to try to wrap that up. I guess all of this is, there's no answer yet. And it's okay that there's no answer. I think I'm meant to be in this holding pattern. I have 5 takeaways for you. Some of them I've already said, so I'm going to just go through them again. Takeaway number 1. Initially, I had written, never Google. Never play WebMD, because it freaked me the heck out at the beginning, seeing all of the things it could be, that I'm feeling like I'm dying, right? And then just this morning, I was talking to one of my business partners about this, and he actually said, well, he kind of...
One of my business partners, who is that? What business are you running these days? Is it Chris? I thought you weren't partners anymore. Who's your male business partner?
Challenged me on it and said, well, I think your Googling and your understanding all of this, Heidi, is putting you in a position of power. And if you ever go to a doctor who says, stop Googling, stop going on WebMD, he said, that's a doctor you shouldn't hire, because your doctor should be grateful, even if you're totally wrong, should be grateful that you know what's happening or you have an idea and you're putting the clues together. Because guys, everyone listening, you are in charge of your health. So never Google, never let yourself freak out by WebMD or Google. Maybe give it a week or two after if you have scary results, wait a little while. But then when you're ready to emotionally handle it, yes, use the internet as a resource, right? As long as it does not trigger you into some sad place. Use it as a resource. I am. And I'm Googling and I'm researching. I'm learning. That's what it is. I am learning. Okay. Because I realize I'm in control. Second takeaway, use Smile. I think it's Southwest Medical Imaging something, SMIL. They are phenomenal. Not an ad. They're great. Oh, the third thing.
She's found no information. She has no answers, by the way, but she's ready to tell us which ones were nicer to her, which is fine, but also like, okay.
No matter which doctor you use, get a second, third, fourth opinion, and a fifth if you need. It is so important that you go with a doctor who treats you like family, right? It really is. And you go with a doctor who eases your fears. Maybe
I want a doctor who treats me like a patient of theirs in their expertise, but okay.
Is realistic, but says, we're going to get to the root of this. That's the doctor you should go with. Maybe it's your OB, maybe it's your general. I don't know who it is, but whatever doctor has you feeling like you are being held through this and they're not going to stop until they get answers for you and with you, that's the doctor that you want. And still get second, third, fourth opinions. Because I will tell you this. I have had, it's kind of like the biopsy, right? One doctor said, get a biopsy. The next said, no, you don't need one. The mine's like, you need one. This other doctor's like, you need one. So everyone, they're not bad, but doctors, yes, they are more educated than we are in a lot of areas. But again, like I said at the beginning, you are more educated on your body. And if something's not sitting right, get another opinion. Do not take no for an answer. Okay? Number 4, trust your gut. Trust your gut.
Ask 7 doctors their opinions, but at the end of the day, trust your gut.
Like, I wish I would have trusted my gut when she told me I didn't need a biopsy. And my gut was like, yeah, you do. You should get it. And I'm like, okay, because I didn't want to offend her, right? Trust your gut. If you know something's not right, it doesn't matter if you go to 20 doctors. The 21st one is probably going to find something that you needed to find. I have my really good friend, Jackie, who was off for years. And every doctor basically told her she was crazy. She did not stop. And then she found out she has a brain condition called Chiari, where she had to go in and get brain surgery, you guys. Same thing happened with her son, Noah. Told everything was fine. And she was like, nope, my gut says it's not. Come to find out, Noah had a brain tumor and a cancerous brain tumor that he had to have removed. And had she just taken the no from the first doctor, even the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, they both would not be here today. And they are. Because Jackie is a wonderful mother and a wonderful woman who has wonderful intuition, and she's strong enough to stand up to a doctor that says she's fine or no. She's strong enough to listen to her intuition, and I want you to listen to yours as well. The fifth thing, do not stop until you get answers. I mean,
I don't think she's gotten answers, and I'm pretty sure she's stopped, or at least talking about it.
I'm not. I'm not stopping. And, I guess I'm going to add a 6th. Don't freak out during this. Try to remember that stress and fear feeds illness. I'm doing my best. I'm realizing I have not done much breath work, and I need to lately. I should be cold plunging more because that helps with inflammation. So I'm trying to do all the things. I'm trying my best, because that's all I can do. Right? I kind of, in a freak out moment, will be like, I can only eat anti-inflammatory foods. I can only do this. And then I'm like, I got to live my life too. Yes, all that stuff is good. And if I get a diagnosis that's like, oh, okay, this is life threatening, then of course things will shift very quickly. But I'm doing my best, and I'm still a mom, and I'm still, I don't want to try and I just don't want to freak out and make all these changes when I might not have to. So one step at a time. We're going to find answers. Guys, I really, really loved this episode. This was fun for me. It's very therapeutic. It was awesome to be able to talk about this without crying. Holy moly. Thanks for being here with me. And thanks for being here with me on this podcast. And thanks for being here with me on this journey. I really love you. And I really appreciate you. And we'll be back next week with part 4 of No Fail New Year. That's all I got for you. Love you. And we'll talk soon. Mwah.
Mwah. Look at my ring. Gosh, that was heavy and inconclusive. And yeah, I can't do another one. I think I got my non-answers, and that's all I needed to know. Woo! What a night. What a day. What an experience. That's what's going on in the Hollisville universe. We got kids going to college on the East Coast. We got engagements. We got cancer scares and full body MRIs. It's never a dull day. It's never a dull, gosh darn day around here,
Colts.
What's on the docket? The docket for this channel is that I'm working on an edited video, 2 of them. Okay. Don't know when it's going to be done but here's the good and the bad. The good news is a lot of my client work that I do on the side of my regular full-time job is wrapping up, and that, should have been wrapped up quite a long time ago, but your girl has been in a cycle of revisions. And if you're a video editor, by chance, you know what I mean, where it's like you're on version 20 and you're sending it back and forth to the client, and they're just, can you make this orange instead of yellow? Can you try a different song? It's like, oh my God. Okay. And it just takes forever. So I've been wrapped up in a lot of stuff like that, client-y work, video stuff that's not related to YouTube. So now that that's almost done, I have more free time. Woo, free time. So I'm going to be editing some videos. Some of the topics are going to be repeats or stuff that you've heard before, but it's going to be in a longer form edited video so that you can kind of, the point of it is supposed to be that you can share it with somebody that is not going to spend 3 hours watching and participating in the chat and kind of being a part of the community. But you can they can understand what the heck you're talking about and why it's important and why it's interesting. So for example, like the Jay Shetty story, I'm working on kind of what the article uncovered, because a lot of people read the article. I did a full interview with John McDermott, the writer of the article from The Guardian, kind of in the expose that happened about Jay Shetty. But getting that all into one piece that's like digestible, I think is helpful. So that's what I'm working on. And then also one about Scentbird, and kind of highlighting not highlighting the people that use the sponsorship, but showing the types of people who use the sponsorship and why I think it's kind of even a little bit more nefarious, and just kind of re-explaining that, because I feel like there hasn't been a channel that's really gone into depth about the CEO of Scentbird and kind of why it's problematic. So I think maybe the Jay Shetty story, when people I just assumed everyone didn't care about these things, but now that I see when they're packaged correctly, people understand a lot better. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe there is some need to spend the time to cut out all the fat and put it into one piece. So I'm working on that. And then also the podcast, I swear it's coming. I swear it's coming. I want to have a few episodes banked up before I put it out there so that I'm not constantly running behind. but it is happening, I swear. So that is forthcoming soon. I will let everyone know when it's ready. And then also,
Why does this sound cold every second?
because I'm leading the pack. And that's it. So we got other topics, other live streams coming up. If you'd like to join the membership, you got brand new emote milestones. There's no more pancakes that are hard to see the difference of. So now you can, just rue the day that you get the next level of membership and you get all the emotes, and join the Reddit if you join the membership. But no pressure, as always. I just appreciate you being here and watching and taking this trip down memory lane. But you know what? I feel good about moving on from Hollisville, because even though this was a nice trip back, like a very, nostalgic feeling for me and something that I've, spent a lot of time talking about, I don't feel like I've missed much. And I don't feel like, oh, I should do more of this. Like for now, I feel like we wrapped it up. I got the gist. They're all doing the same thing and I can move forward with my life. So that's an amazing thing to feel, honestly, this day and age, right? Thank you. So now I'm going to sing my song. And if you don't know, if you're new here, I sing a song at the end, song / spoken word / ramblings, using the names of all the people who are members in the second tier, okay, in the gold straight up group, formerly known as the Pancake Breakfast Club. And speaking of,
This is gold, straight up. No big deal.
No big deal. We should check in on him too soon, because he's got some interesting things going on. Anyway, so I'm going to do that now, and then I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Toodaloo. And we're going to sing a special song tonight, just in honor of Rachel Hollis, just FYI. Okay, bye. Hold on, I gotta add something so I can play audio on the screen. Hold your horses, okay? Hold your gosh darn horses. Okay, let's see now. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna turn it down. All right, we're getting it going, sorry. Rebecca Kelly is the best author. Casual pasta tastes really good to me. Rainy Kinnan is nasty Bannon, and we're thankful for that. And also give us something to talk about in a flash. One more time. Starry Nights is a delight. Kara Soto is a beautiful bride in white. Crystal Jean, that is not me. Alaska Blue Tundra is not 100 years old. She's very young and youthful. A console also is young at heart. Nicole Campbell loves the soup at the store, and Jordan doesn't want to listen to this song anymore. Tiffany, she is so funny, very much like Chels Marie, and this song is copyright free. Cheech, Cheech and Cheech, it's their own. Billy turned Texan is flying a drone, and Anne is the man, or maybe she can let us know what pronoun to use so I don't screw it up. Danny, also you too. You may kiss the bride. Oh wait. You may kiss your bride. Wow, that was painful. Good night, everyone. Bye.